my boots and my faded jeans in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and swap them for a coat and tie and someplace else to go. I had days that were laced with white lines on narrow blacktop roads, with honky-tonks around the game and drunken episodes. Those flashing lights and them busted fists and women with no name. And mornings past the night before I learned to play the game.
Hey, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, saints and sinners, welcome to the Saturday Night Church of the Search. I'm your host, Toby Michael Younis, and tonight we're just going to have open phone lines. Talk a little bit about Fenn, maybe talk a little bit about other stuff. That's your choice. You're welcome to talk about anything you want, because I'll talk about anything you want. But I do want to mention that tonight I do have a pendant from the World Sand Project to give out. And in order to win this pendant tonight, you have to make a comment on a video that's in the World Sand Project. And the clue, or hint, depending on if you're Forrest Fenn or not, is in the community page of A Gypsy's Kiss. Deborah, yes, this is the song that I wrote.
She stripped me bare and read my heart like it was an open book, and tried to lie as always, but her voice is all it took to bring back Sunday morning rides and sunsets.
And I have a special surprise for you tonight. We have a young lady who offered to allow us to play her music on the show tonight. So in addition to some of the other music that we'll be playing tonight, we will be playing some of hers. Her name is Angeline Jolly. So we're going to play a little bit of that. I like her sound. It's refreshing and kind of my style of music. I like her storytelling.
Made me realize the longest days and the darkest nights were more than I could face. The only thing that I could do would leave that lonesome place. But she plays memories that kind of leave romance to me. The dark rhapsodies, the midnight rendezvous, yeah, she played memories.
Yeah, the hat is something I picked up while I was in Vegas. It's the Vegas Golden Knights hockey team. I'm not necessarily a hockey fan, never have been. I'm not much of a sports fan. I don't spend time watching sports, but this is the Vegas. It's not Las Vegas. It's Vegas Golden Knights. I was corrected. It's their new hockey team, and I saw the logo, and I thought it was a pretty cool logo. So I wanted a hat. But for those of you that have any service time, you know that the Golden Knights are the name of the U.S. Army's parachute team. Golden Knights. Like it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, saints and sinners, we're going to have a good time tonight. So I want to start by playing some music, and I do want to play one of Angeline's songs without interruption. So I'm not going to turn, I got to turn my phone on first, but I'm not going to turn on the lines just yet. So there's a couple of ways you can reach out to me while we're playing this song. One, of course, is in the chat room by preceding your comment with an @ Gypsy's Kiss. The other thing that you can do is text a message to 202-815-1171, and I'll take a look at those before we open the phone lines. But I really don't want to interrupt because I don't mind interrupting some of the music that we play from YouTube. But like I said, I really like Angelin's music, and I want you to hear it. And I'm going to share her website here in just a minute. But let's do some...
Housekeeping, you want towels?
Of course you want towels. If the Magical Treasure Princess was here, she'd want you to have towels too. Remember to like this video. We like it when you like our videos. YouTube likes it when you like our videos. And the MTP likes it when you like our videos. Share with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, the entirety of your social network so that we can continue to grow this channel. And finally, if you are not already a subscriber, subscribe now by pressing on that subscribe button, and then when you see the notifications bell, click on that notifications bell, and that way every time we start a live stream or we make an entry into our community page, you will be informed and immediately informed and in the know. So before we go to Angeline's music, I do want to mention that I just happen to have this. It's a World Sand Project pendant. And it's a unique sand that's in the pendant. It has the World Sand Project, I don't know what I call it, good luck thingy on it. And we're going to give it away tonight. Sometime tonight, we're going to give it to someone from a random selection of comments. But the comment is to be made on a video that's in the World Sand Project portfolio of videos, and if you're and you have to play the game, and the game is you have to go to the AGK community page, and there's a photograph there, and everything you need to know about which video on the World Sand Project you need to comment on is in that photograph. Okay, so go and do that. We'll do this about, I don't know, we'll wait till around 9 o'clock so I can promote it, because I want lots of people to go to the video and make the comments so that we have lots of people with a chance to win. Okay? So, voila. So, let me see. And if you go to the community page, you'll see a macro photo of this pendant. So, go do that. Let's have fun tonight. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. So the MTP is off tonight, as you can see. So we're going to handle all this operation by ourselves. So Christy is asking, how do you find the community page? Let me show you how you find the community page. We're going to do a screenshot here. So if you go to A Gypsy's Kiss, and you can get there just by going to youtube.com/c/A Gypsy's Kiss. That will take you there. And you'll see right there, it says community. Click on the community page, and the posting is right on top. Shadowcaster, you don't have to. Just I mean, I appreciate you commenting on everyone, but you don't. But you don't have to. Just go to the community page. There's a clue at the top of the community page, and then go to the World Sand Project, figure out which video it is, and then make a comment on that video. And later on tonight, like I said, we'll wait till around 9 o'clock so everybody has a chance. I'm going to mention it a couple of times tonight before we go over there. So we do have some, let me see, comments. Hang on. You know, I wish it wasn't a multi-step process to delete a comment. So just wanted to say hello. You need to come out on a podcast so I can listen at work. Well, all you have to do is... Oh, I see what you're saying. You probably can't get the video at work. Tony Henman says, I want to pick maybe a rooster. You did mine on Friday. Okay, we can do that. Mel from Oklahoma says, I intend to be in your congregation Saturday night instead of going to the casino. Actually, I'm going to the casino later tonight. Did Fenn say the chest is the chest is or is not in the sun most of the day. Looking forward to your sermon. Mel, he said that the area in which the chest is hidden, generally the special place, I would say, is in the sun most of the day, but that the location of the treasure, the place where the treasure is ensconced, is not in the sun most of the day, and it tends to be in shadow. The implication being it's in some kind of niche or crevice or maybe a little overhang, something like that. What time can I call in to ask a question about Fenn Treasure, and do you have contact info for Justin in Idaho Falls? So I don't think Justin lives in Idaho Falls. I think Justin lives in California. And so you must be thinking of Tony Henman, who's the gentleman who gave away the gemstones. And I'll call you tonight and we'll work all of that out. You can tell me more about why you want to contact him, and then I'll tell you how I can arrange for you to contact. Shadowcaster, you don't have to comment on every video. I can't figure out which video is on. No, it's not that, Shadowcaster. It's not that hard. Somebody tell Shadowcaster. I give up. It kept taking me to the... Oh, my goodness. Okay, here. Here, this is for you, search daughter, baby doll. There. So go to that link, find community page, look at the clue, and then go to the World Sand Project and figure out which video you have to comment on. Justin is from Texas, apparently. So, yeah, he's definitely not from Idaho Falls. It's Tony Henman that's from Idaho Falls. Okay, so I'm still kind of full screen. Tell me if you get that worked out there. Christy. Holly. Don't give away any hints. Wow, Kiwis wrote, break that. That's 3 different questions. Break that up into the 3 questions one at a time, because I couldn't answer one without being wrong about the others. All right? Holly, do not give hints. Let's see. So I want you to listen to, her name is Angeline Jolly, and she contacted Shelley about playing some of her music on our program. And then Shelley contacted me and shared some of the music one. And the one that she shared with me, this one here, she's on Reverb Nation. Her music is on Reverb Nation, so I'm going to put that in the chat room so you guys have that as well in case you want to listen to it. I like her a lot. And she was the one that, she's the one that, and I don't like her because she wrote an email yesterday saying I didn't look like I was 71, that I had not, that the treasure that I discovered was the fountain of youth. So, yeah, community page, for some reason, the community page, the YouTube app, doesn't have the community page, but if you use like Google Chrome and go to that link, then you can see it on Google Chrome. You can't see it on the iPad. No, Holly, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, Angeline's in the room. Hi, Angeline. So we're going to play one of your songs now, and you can tell while I'm playing it, I'm going to be quiet, and I'm not going to take phone calls while we're doing that, so you can tell everybody about your song, huh? All right. It's called Fever. Yep. I don't have a login here. I'm going to play that.
yourself and know the key is where I would be when you're trying to face the changes. Still hold on to you. Maybe someday you'll hold my hand, 'cause I'm a girl of the broken cages too.
So, Angeline, I don't know. Hang on, let me. I'm gonna play some more after this, but I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I really, really like that song. It's beautiful and it touches me, and I'm glad that you decided to share that with us. So, if you guys go to her page at Reverb Nation / Angeline Jolly, you can click on the Become a Fan button. And I strongly recommend you do that. I think anytime artists, especially like Angeline, can feel like they're appreciated for the hard work that they do, I think that just makes them better. And I think it gives them the kind of energy that they need to continue producing great music. And I feel like Angela has. We're going to listen to a couple of other of her songs before the night is out. But for now, okay, did everybody figure out which, after I posted it, which World Sand Project video you have to go comment on to win this sand pendant from that sample of sand. So let me show you what it looks like on the close-up image. So it's a pretty nice little sample. Go to the community page and let's click on that and open that up in a new window so we can see how pretty it is. Okay, that's the one I'm giving away today, this evening. And we'll do it about 9 o'clock. We'll do the giveaway. You have to make a comment on the video on the World Sand Project from which this sample was collected. I posted it earlier. So go check it out. It's a pretty sample. I mean, it's actually a beautiful sample. And I didn't get that big a sample from it, so I had to be very judicious about what I did with it. I think this is probably going to be the only pendant that I'll make from this sample. So do that. Sample. make a comment on that video. Angeline says, so Broken Cages, I wrote this after watching the movie Girl Interrupted in 2000. Wow, that's a long time ago. I do remember that. What was the girl that was playing the part? I do remember that movie. It too was touching. I was curious about the actress was with my name and got accidentally moved by it. Thank you so much, Tom. Angeline, if you send me a text message to the number right below my chin here, 202-815-1171, I'll give you a call and we can talk about your music, okay? So, yeah, if you want to talk about it with folks, and we'll be live, of course. I know you indicated that you were a little bit shy about these things, but hey, you perform in front of live audiences, so it can't be that big a deal. It's just like performing in front of a live audience. So let's see. Shadowcaster says, I'm just commenting on all of the videos. My fingers are going numb. I guess that's oh, and Shadowcaster, I did get the message on Facebook about becoming a what do they call them on Facebook? Friend. But my Facebook, I'm not a big fan of Facebook ever since they can't seem to control their urges to promote Russian oligarchs. Anyway, I don't use Facebook much, and my group of friends is limited to they're not friends, they're family. They're limited to the 25 members of my family. Tried the link, but it didn't work. Oh, is Angelina Jolie in that movie? I remember Winona Ryder. I don't remember Angelina Jolie. Wasn't she she was the real rebellious one, right? Angelina Jolie. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Figure out how to get you guys the video on which to comment. It is, well, here, I'll just show it to you, okay? What the hell? Jesus Christ. How can you guys be treasure hunters? Can't figure this out. All right, so go to the World Sand Project, go to videos, where the videos are listed, and they're listed in order, right? So our most recent video is 0027, World Sand Project sample 0027. You're going to go down to 0011, the green sand of Papacolia Beach. Whoops, I'm going to, hope it does. We got a pretty magical sand genie. Isn't she cute? And make a comment there. There's 19 comments as of this moment. Make more comments, and we'll have lots. We'll have to give it away. Maybe even Jimmy Fast has a chance. So go there. I'll post the link again. So, yeah. Thank you, Holly. I feel exactly the same way, Holly. Come on, guys. It's YouTube. Let's see. Greg Keller says, Gypsy's Kids, Toby isn't even my friend. That's right, Greg. He knows. See, explain that. Fair enough. I just keep it sassy. No, we're not going to do politics. Talking about those darned Russian oligarchs isn't politics. It's just my innate displeasure with them, and that comes from the amount of time I spent doing what I did in Washington. Shadowcaster has blisters. All right, guys. So let's go back to playing some music. I'm gonna save a couple of others. So, Angeline, do me a favor and tell me which one you like, which of your songs you'd like me to play next. I kind of liked Craving. Well, you know what? I liked them all. I liked all the ones that are listed here. There are 5 listed. So, kind of liked Until I See You. So, but let me know, and we'll play a couple later on. I don't know how long I'm going to be on tonight. I do have plans to go to the casino tonight, but the nice thing about casinos is they're open 24 hours, and I'm a 24-hour kind of guy. And for those of you who are curious, this is what we are giving away tonight. It is a World Sand Project pendant. You can see our little World Sand Project thingamajig there. And I found a stone. This looks like a peridot to me because this sand that's in the pendant from Papacolia Beach kind of looks like it's peridot. It's actually olivine, but it has that same kind of olive green color that peridot has, and I'm a big fan of peridot as a gift stone. Let's see where we're going. Angelina, if you want to make sure I see your message on the comments, precede your comment with an @ a Gypsy's Kiss, and you have to have the spaces and the not asterisk apostrophe in the name, so it looks like this. Let's see if I don't think I can do it. Sassy, I think you have to do it. But it has to be like that in order for me to see it, including the spaces and say a Gypsy's Kiss, a Gypsy's Kiss. Then it highlights it for me just like that, and I get to see it. So I decided not to use Restream tonight, so I'm not streaming to Facebook or to Twitch or to Periscope. I'm streaming directly to our YouTube channel. So if you got friends over on Facebook, let them know we aren't going in that direction tonight because I was kind of mad at Restream. I know that's crazy. It's not healthy to be mad at a service provider, but I was. Okay, let me pull up some music here. Did I close that window? I think I closed the window. Rats. Hold on. I've got to go back and open that window. The audio window. Oh, and I've got to select that. I got to select, let's see, AGK. And we're going to go to audio library. That's the YouTube audio library. So give me a second because while I was playing with all those windows, I lost my library here, and I had. So we're going to do a little bit of country and western tonight. So the genre is, it's called country and folk. They don't call it country and western. They call it, and we're going to do romantic just because I'm that kind of guy. I like being romantic. And attribution not required. Do previous comments apply? You mean to that particular, to the Papacolia Beach? Yes. Any comments that's on there. If you've already made a comment prior to this, it applies. So don't worry about it. You don't have to make a second comment. This is called Laugh and Cry by the Mini Vandals. By the way, I do want to mention that Super Chat is open, so if you go down to the bottom of your chat screen and you'll see a stylized dollar but grayed out $, click on that $, and YouTube will walk you through making a Super Chat donation to our little project right here. Thank you. Angelin, is this your text message with a 501 area code? Just give me a yes or no, and because somebody said call me, but I don't know if it's you or not. Deborah Jensen, my game of choice is poker, Texas Hold'em. That's about all I play. I'll play an occasional game of blackjack, but I'm not a big fan, and I've never had the patience to learn craps, so I just stick to poker. Same game we played in Las Vegas. And just like that, John Miller makes his offering to the church collection. What do they call it when you're passing the tray there in the Catholic Church? And 3D Bronze, our friend, let's see, still waiting on pics for your lithophanes, Toby. You know what I'm going to do, 3D? I'm going to take some of I'm just going to send you to, no, because they're high resolution. I'll work on it tomorrow. Today was a busy day for me, so, but I'll work on it tomorrow and I'll send them to you tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, we had a terrible weather day today. It was literally just raining from about noon on. So I didn't get to I was planning to go for a bike ride all week, and then it just started raining. And it's supposed to rain through tomorrow too. So it may not be until Monday that I get to go for a bike ride. So, all right. So I think this is Angela's number. So let me make sure. If it's not, we'll end up talking about Forrest Fenn. Okay, so Angela, let's see if this is you.
Hello.
Hi, Angela. It's Toby.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, it's going better now that I'm sure it's you that I'm calling.
That's me. I just can't believe any of this is going on.
Why? Why? What's so?
Oh man.
What's
I've
so?
been watching you guys for a good minute. I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm already just into y'all.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even know that, Shelley had the life coaching thing. Then I've been going through some stuff, and hence the reason I really dug into the whole treasure thing and all that. And y'all have been kind of, vitamins, and it's just, so I'm, just blown away. Music's what I do. It's kind of like, how you have things that you do or gifts or things that, you're born with or whatever, so you kind of take it for granted. So it's like, I'm just sitting there going, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh my God. But yeah, no, both parents are musicians, songwriters. And so, me and my brother both just, that's how it was going to happen. And, but yeah, it was just an accidental thing, got into the whole treasure thing and just discovered you guys, and then watched K-Pro and Mike and just became addicted, and, just kind of a series of accidents, really.
Well, I'm glad you decided to contact Shelley about reaching out to us, because she's very open to those things, as am I.
Oh yeah, you guys are brilliant. Y'all are so intelligent. It's obvious you're studied and know what you're doing.
Well, we try. I mean, we've had a lot of practice, and she's a great partner to work with. She makes it all that much easier because she's just always in a good mood, and
Sharp.
That even when I'm not in a good mood, she turns things around in 3 minutes, because she's
and that's and that's what you got to have.
She knows me well enough to make me laugh, even
know how to even it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
because you got so much knowledge. Probably like sometimes it's hard to come. Yeah, it's that balance.
Yeah. So tell me about your musical style. What would you call it?
Heinz 57 of like Fleetwood Mac meets. I'm a child of the 80s, so I mean, shamelessly. My brother is 6.5 years older than me. He's a guitar player, and so I was listening to Whitesnake in the mid-'80s and Def Leppard, and so I discovered Fleetwood Mac when they came up with the Dance, the reunion deal back in like '96 or so, and just became obsessed with Mick Fleetwood because I'm a drummer. I'm a songwriter, singer, drummer, guitarist. I play bass. I'm insane, and then I build stuff, save cats. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyway, fell in love with them. That really influenced my music style. And I realized, hey, the most fun I have is when my parents, who have been divorced since I was 12, we actually play in a trio together.
Yeah.
Along with Uncle David. And just, it's a family thing, literally. And so we do Fleetwood Mac. But it's just emerging. You can hear the Judds or you could hear Prince. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Or original, but it's a Heinz. It's basically selfishly what I like to listen to, because I won't play anything I don't like. And so, it's just like kind of here you go, come eat my cake type deal. But
right,
I've been writing since I was 7, and it's just a way to survive when, you got different type of people, and each person has their way of dealing with life, and it's not really no luxury thing. It's just getting through life.
Where is your family from originally?
We are Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it says North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah, North Little Rock. Yes, the metropolis.
And I always wonder when people do a lot of writing in their music.
Yeah.
Where does it come from? What is the, each of your songs seems to have, as I listen to them, they all seem to have a story that you're telling. And I wondered, where does the story come from?
Man, every single one is different. And it really is true. And I've listened to people, somebody that surprised me that actually fell in love with this Taylor Swift when I realized how intelligent she was. And it's the same thing is you don't choose it, it chooses you. If you try to choose it and you try to write a song mechanically,
right,
you're trying to force a process that's not, the switch has to be on. It's like a radio frequency. It's the best thing I could say to describe it. When the frequency's on, I'll usually get inspired if I've had a few drinks and I'm listening to a band that moves me. It has to be a band that moves me, or I listen to Joni Mitchell, just immaculate lyricist. She makes me write better, just like if you read a lot, then you're going to be more well-spoken, how that goes, And people like Brandy Carlisle, Joni Mitchell, Fleetwood Mac, those guys, and, just basically harmony-based melodic rock, merging all the stuff that I selfishly love together, and, just kind of making this big stew of stuff, and then we just act up in the middle of it, and, just try to survive. It's just a means of survival, really. It's just what I do, and it happens to be something that people can enjoy. But my mom has always been a singer. She's been doing jingles and recording all throughout me growing up as a kid. So I didn't even know I could sing until I couldn't get her to be still enough to do some vocals from a demo. I was like, damn it, Mom. So anyway, I did it. So, and then people were like, oh my God, I just didn't know. I really didn't. I thought I was like my dad, a writer, and so I didn't. So now me and her sing and sing together. And anyway, it's just a blessing, honestly. I didn't do anything to deserve it, and I'm super thankful for it. And everyone comes from a different place. Before, I even got involved with people romantically, I was writing songs because I would be moved by movies or just, different things. And you're wired a certain way when you're born. And so I've always felt things extra. And so that's how I'm, just kind of how you process the oxygen when you're wired like that. But
yeah.
I just so appreciate you playing that. That's just crazy.
We're gonna play. We are gonna play some more.
That's crazy.
we don't have a huge national audience, but we do have a lot of people that like music.
This is great.
I heard a little bit of folk, a little bit of country, a little bit of soft rock, and all of that you did.
Oh yeah,
and
those are old. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that kind of music that doesn't. It's I would call it difficult to categorize, but in a way, because it is difficult to categorize, it makes it really easy. And
well, that's cool.
I put your music, your MP3s on my phone. And,
you're welcome to anything you want. Absolutely.
Well, I listened to it repeatedly as I was coming.
Well, that's great. Oh my God.
8 hours that I was coming back from Las Vegas, and
oh my God.
yeah, so I got to listen to a lot of it, figure out the words where you were going with it, and what you were doing with it.
I'm honored. That is such an honor because I have so much respect for you, and I just love you guys for like totally different reasons that have nothing to do with this. Like I didn't like when I sent her a demo of me doing Human Nature because. I just love some of the more of the B-side type Michael Jackson stuff. And, he was a big thing for me growing up, being influenced musically. And, I do like Human Nature. I do, we do The Way You Make Me Feel, Dirty Diana, just the off ones that, weren't and anyway, like I just sent her that. I was like kind of just explaining about what I do. Cause, I had been coming out of a real difficult situation. And when I realized she was life coach, I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. This wild little dancing thing oh my gosh, okay, well sure, I don't, she won't respond, but okay. And then she did. I was like, oh my God, because like I said, I've already been invested in you guys for just the sole purpose of just being fascinated. And so anyway, and it just cheered me up and took me out of a bad place and just put me in a better place. And so
good.
and then she mentioned the music, but I was like, oh my God, yes, whatever. Yes.
So which instruments do you play or have you mastered, I guess is the best way to put it?
Oh, man, I've been in love with drums more than anything.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yeah. Drums are my heart. My dad's a guitar player. My brother's a guitar player. So I was playing. My first guitar I played on was like a Gibson 335, like on my dad's. But as far as like passion, I play guitar by just virtue of being surrounded by guitar players, and when you have songs in your head, and it's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as my love, I've actually invented some stuff, like if I'll do a private party and I just really bored just playing guitar, so bored because I just want to be doing something percussive, and so I've invented some pedals so that I can. If I can master it, muscle memory kind of simulates the left snare hit with my left foot, and just craziness.
Yeah.
Works though, so why not? And I know how to use power tools, and when you can do that, you can pretty much do anything.
Anything, that's right. How? What are the chances you're going to head out New Mexico way at any time?
Oh my God, I want to go there so bad. Oh my God, I want to go there so bad. I want to, all of it. No. And I realized that I'd probably need to be pushed around in like a dolly, or I don't even know, but oh my gosh,
it's not that bad. Well, of course, if you ever find yourself out in this direction, you let us know so we can have a little get together and maybe
my God,
we
I would love to
convince you to play some music.
I
played the guitar for years, and my son Jason, my oldest son Jason, picked it up, and there was a point at which we were at some party years and years ago, and I realized. He was better than I would ever get at that point. And so I just stopped.
That's awesome.
But I do want to talk to you. I don't know whether you've heard the story of that song that I wrote when I was much younger.
Mm-hmm.
She Played Memories.
Is that the one you play on the show?
Yeah, the one that I start the show with. So
I love that song. Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, when I wrote it, it was written as a country song, country and western song, with a country and western beat. And then the gentleman that decided to do it, he turned out to be a friend of mine. I didn't know any about this until I returned to New Mexico in 2010. His name is John Salazar, and he had a band, and he was a Eagles kind of rock band,
Yeah.
And so he modified it so that it was that kind of soft rock. It turned into a biker song. And so maybe one day I can send you what I know about that song, and you can turn it back into a kind of country rock song.
Yeah, and I noticed like a lot of my stuff, like I've written country songs, like what I would consider modern country.
Yeah.
I just it's really in it. I write praise and worship. I have my mom. I mean, we're not the kind of Jesus people that are gonna just like. Obviously, my whole life is a shade of gray. So there's mercy and not the let's just stab you in the face with the Bible type thing.
Right.
Don't be blunt about it, honestly, because I grew up in that.
Yeah.
I write, just mercy, love, and all that. But I do follow Jesus, and so I write. That's really where my passion is. But I play drums there. Got in front of the people. Pastor knew I played drums. He's one of those guys. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this sucker out of here. So I said, well, look, I'm not playing. I was 18. I hadn't played in front of anybody yet. I've already been recording, discovered how to overdub and do all this crazy stuff with analog just because I wanted to figure it out. I knew there had to be a way. And so anyway, he's like, okay, I'll give you a wall. So see you Sunday. I was like, oh, crap. So I got a wall, and I hid behind the wall, and so I started playing drums in front of people. So yeah, I play drums, I play guitar. I play what I call batar is bass if you're a guitarist and you don't have a committed bass player to play, and so you kind of just get away with it. But, just everything, just a lot of craziness. But
well, I was kind of worried because when we were exchanging emails, you left me with the impression that you were a bit shy. You don't sound at all shy.
Well, medication does
that
wonders,
does it? Is that what it does? Yeah. Little alcohol, little medication. So Christy has asked me to play Save Tonight.
Sure, whatever she wants. I love her. So yes, whatever.
Tell me about the song. Where does it come from?
Oh, Save Tonight, gosh. This is kind of crazy. This is one of those songs I don't think I really wrote about anybody because I really can't just think of anything. I think I had heard the song. It made me, I got mad because I had written Save Tonight a few years prior to recording it. And like I said, this was 10 billion years ago when I recorded that. The newest song I've put on there is Fever. And, that was like but I don't care. I mean, that was 2018. There's so many. You ask somebody how many songs they've written or how many songs they've written in over 10 years. That's like asking me how many times I've had sweet tea.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I have, let me count the air molecules in the room. It's just crazy. But yeah, whatever she wants. Yeah, anything she wants. I love her. I adore her.
All right.
Yes, I love her. Gosh, yes. But I wrote that. It was
after I
raining.
play Save Tonight, I'm going to play Craving because that's the one I
Sure.
got. That's the
That's
one.
a good one for
as
Sunday
I listen
school.
to it. Yeah. Well, that's what it is. We're Church of the Search, right? So yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm so sorry, but I did write them. But yeah, that was a long story short. Went to Memphis, saw this person playing. She wrote a naughty song at the end of it, had everybody flipping. I was like, okay, I'm going to write a naughty song and see what happens. It was a social experiment. And now it's like, no, that's the one song. Like, no, I'm not playing. Because my parents are there, people I know, and yeah, it's fun. It's ironic.
Well,
it's all good.
That's the one that I played the most coming back from Las Vegas.
I deserve it. I totally deserve it. I changed it. I changed some of the lyrics when my brother started playing it.
Yeah.
And my nephews were able to dance to it. I just couldn't. I had to do something.
Yeah.
But so no, it's worth it. Just talking to you. Oh my God. Like an out-of-body experience. I'm so happy. It's awesome.
I'm glad you made the connection. I'm glad that Shelley forwarded the information to me, and I'm glad we're able to play your music tonight. So let's.
It's all a bonus.
Let me hang up, and then we'll play some more music for the folks. And if you get the urge, you can call back in, tell us more about your music. All right.
Well, let me just say, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you on a totally separate note for just helping me through a hard time. You didn't even know it, but just by doing what you guys do and bringing your best, you've helped me. So I just really appreciate you guys.
Well, I'm glad that we can help like that. We never actually know whether it makes a difference, but we love hearing from someone, especially Shelley, because that's her life is really about helping other people. And
well, she has really, I printed out her. She has an approach towards things that are more of a reverse engineering, actual solutions based way of. And I love that, and I am so grateful that she would even put the time in to communicate with me, because that's so awesome. And you guys are, whatever you want. Y'all need a song written for something. Well, I mean, I don't care. Y'all are just all, it's all good.
Here's what I think would be an interesting idea. We're going to have, it will take some planning, but of course we have Fenbury coming up in July, the July 4th weekend. And on Saturday, they're planning a catered barbecue. But I imagine anybody who come in and entertain the folks while we were barbecuing would be great. So again, if you find your find your way out here at that time, you're welcome to stay. I have a guest room. You're welcome to stay in the guest room. And Shelley is about 10 minutes away, and they also have a guest room. So
yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love the opportunity to introduce you at Fenbury. That would be really great.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely, yes. Yes, yeah. My parents toured in the Rockies playing rock music in the 70s, and so I've been quizzing them on all kinds of crap, but oh my God, yes.
All right, well, let's plan on it. Let's keep working towards that. All right.
Yes, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Awesome. She's awesome. You guys are just doing great things beyond what you even know.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you giving us, letting us play your music here tonight.
Anything you need, y'all are icing on the cake, whatever. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
You have a good evening, Angela.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Let's play another of Angelin's songs. By the way, my mother, the reason I guess I'm so touched by the name is my mother was Angelin, in Spanish, Angelina, and she was just, I don't know. I don't know that you could call her an extrovert. She just bubbled over with energy right up until the day she passed away. And my only regret is that I spent 40 years of my life in some place other than Santa Fe, so we didn't have a lot of contact. I mean, I did come to visit, and we talked regularly, and she knew the children, things like that. But man, she had. I always understood why my dad married her, because she had enough personality to just take down a room. She'd walk into a room, and it was like watching an angel walk in. That's it. All right, let's play this for Christy, and it's called Save Tonight, another one of Angelin's songs.
I will find this place again, and I will hide. Let me love you with a tender touch that I know you've been aching for. Let me cover every sadness and carry you through heaven's door. I wanna save tonight with you. When the miles are wide and the world is crazy, I will find this place again, and I will hide.
K-Pro, that sounds like it was written for you and mine. Wait a minute. Come on, I want to go back here. Because I'm going to come back and I'm going to play Craving. Because that is a totally... totally, like, it's one of those songs that you have to sing to yourself, kind of. And I did all the way back from Las Vegas. Because it's kind of hot, I think. That's me. Yeah, Christy, you listen to those words, and that's like you and Mike all over. All right, I want to play one more of Angela's songs, and then we'll go back to the YouTube audio library, start playing there, and we'll open up the phone lines. But before I do that, I want you all to make sure that you go to the World Sand Project video called WSP001 Papacolia Beach. Make a comment there, because at 9 o'clock we're going to give away this sand pendant with a sample from Papacolia Beach. And you know what you ought to do? You ought to see some of the pictures. Hang on. Hold on there. Hold on there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. That's photos, but we're going to WSP. And we're going to go to albums, and we're going to go to Papacolia. Here. So I'm going to share the photo album with you guys, so you can go look at how cool this beach is. And I got a. So I told a story of the beach. When you watch the video, you'll see the story of the bill. And I got a series of comments from a gentleman who was from Hawaii, and he was very angered at the fact that I had taken this sand from the beach, and I tried to explain to him that I didn't. I actually bought it on eBay. Anyway, go take a look at these pictures. They're kind of neat. Papacolia Beach. It's Papacolia Beach, the island of Hawaii. It's not the big island, but the island of Hawaii, Hawaii, USA, collected by David Plotkin, who's the guy on eBay I collected it from. Go look at those pictures. They're cool. And then go look at the picture on the community page so you can see. Here, I'll do it one more time, because I know you guys aren't very good at navigating. Let's see. Here, I'll do this again. This is where you want to make the, this is the video on which you want to make a comment, so that we can, so right there, we'll do a drawing about 9 o'clock, okay? Go make a comment on that one. Oh, no, sorry, wrong. I just sent you back to the, hold on. Copy video. Okay. Go make a comment on that video. We'll do a drawing around 9 o'clock. If I haven't drank myself into oblivion. I won't. I don't drink that much. Okay, so I want to do one more for right now from Angela, and then we'll open up the phone lines. I want to do this one. It's called Craving.
I can taste you on my lips. I can smell you, and I ache for the rush to hold you down in a tender overtake, to corner you alone and touch you like I please, to find those secret places calling out to me. I'm hungry for you. I wanna dive in and out, our bodies tightly wrapped around each other, baby. I'm hungry and you're the one I'm craving. I wanna kiss your lips and suck your skin. My hands an exploration, baby. I'm hungry and you're the one I'm craving. Tonight we'll meet again in my now familiar dream, where we'll fall into each other and the windows catch the steam. I'm hungry for you. I wanna dive in and out, our bodies tightly wrapped around each other, baby. I'm hungry and you're the one I'm craving. I wanna kiss your lips and suck your skin. My hands an exploration, baby. I'm hungry and you're the one I'm craving.
Yeah, I want to know where that one came from, because that's just hotter than a $3 bill, as my dad used to say. All right, let's go back to the audio library, and we're going to play this. It's by Chris Hagen, and it's called Si Señorita. I feel like that didn't have the depth that of the songs that we heard from Angelina, but after all, it is the YouTube audio library, and ours is not to reason why. Ours is about to die. I did get a comment question. It says, Toby, where is the gold? That's easy. Fort Knox. So make sure you go comment to 9 o'clock. We're going to give away this pendant, this World Sand Project pendant. Because I just wanted to see. I was kind of concerned that the sand grains were so big that I wouldn't be able to get it into the pendant. But I think it's probably about time to open up the phone lines. There we go. And I do want to thank Angelina for calling in and talking with us about her music. I really enjoyed that conversation. So. Phone lines are open, 202-815-1171. Call me and tell me what you think about Forrest Fenn and his dang treasure. China has it. So when I was coming back from Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area, I had to stop at Albertsons to pick up some stuff. And there were these Girl Scouts out front selling the Girl Scout cookies. And as they were all dressed like various cookies, you know, and they were really cute. And one of them said to me, would you care to buy some cookies? And I said, you know what? It's got too much sugar. I can't have that much sugar, but why don't I just give you a $20 bill and you guys, you know, count it as good. So they were really happy with that. And I said, you got to let me take a picture. You're just too happy. So I thought it was really cute that they put up with my not buying their cookies. And for those of you that have never been there, this is just below Red Rock Canyon. This is Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Reserve or Preserve, something like that. And it's just beautiful at this time of the afternoon, late afternoon, and the red rocks are really just about as red as they get. And it was a beautiful deserty area, and I'm a big fan of the desert. I don't need to be in the mountains to really enjoy the scenery, but it is a really pretty area. Just amazing what they've done with it. So more musica until we get a phone call. Phone lines are open, 202-815-1171. Let's see who calls first. This is called Back to Portland by Track Tribe. Hey, you've reached Toby on the Church of the Search. Oops. Hello.
Yeah, hi. It's Tony
From
Chicago.
Chicago.
How you doing?
I recognize you, Tony. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
Hey,
good.
listen. Fast question. Did you ever get the report back or the interpretation from Tracy, the body language person that you were going to send like video clips of Fenn to see if she can decipher anything? Has there been any follow-up from her on that?
We had a conversation about 2 weeks after, and we talked for about an hour, I'm going to say, maybe an hour and a half. And I didn't feel like she was not, and this is not a criticism of her, of her approach, but I think we had gone as far as we could with her using video. I think in order for her to do her best work. Hey, Gardner, Kansas, I do see you calling. Hang on, let me finish with this call, and I will call you back, all right? That way you don't have to keep calling and getting voicemail. So I felt like we had gone as far as we could because there was a point at which I realized things were getting repetitive, and I don't mean that negatively. There's only so much you can do from a set of video recordings, especially the video recordings are progressively, in his case, progressively more defensive is what I'd call it. He's learning his answers to the various things, and I think I wasn't getting any benefit out of it. So I felt like I was thinking about bringing her back, but we both agreed that there was just nothing there. Hey, let me do this. Gardner, Kansas. You're just going to keep going to voicemail, so hang on, and I will call you back. But apparently, they can't hear me.
Okay. Well, that's. I was just wondering myself as to whatever happened with that. Okay.
Now I don't.
Than that,
so let me give you something else to kind of think about. So I don't know whether you saw the recent video that I did regarding my three friends, all of whom are retired now, talking about the 7,000 foot, what I call the 7,000 foot faux pas. But we've talked a couple of times since then, and they're willing to sit down and take a look at some of the videos. I'm going to do it the next time I go back to the Washington area rather than try to do it long distance. And the next time I'm going back is so 2 of my 4 daughters are expecting right now. One of them is expecting in March, but that's the one in Boca Raton. I'll probably go to Boca Raton in April, maybe May. But my other daughter's expecting in August, and so I'll probably head back that. And she's one of the ones that's still in the D.C. area, so I'll probably head back there the September-October timeframe, and I'm going to take a bunch of videos with me. And they said they'd give me an afternoon just to kind of review them and tell me what they thought.
Well, thinking of that, wouldn't a speech interpreter be more productive than a body language? Because everything that I've seen of Fenn, he just sits there. He doesn't do any body movements, no nothing.
Right.
But like his speech inflections, you're the expert, and you and your friends are the expert. But I would think that a speech interpreter would be more productive into seeing, okay, he's inflecting at this word, he's not inflecting at that word. You guys are. I would think that would be more of a help to us. Than a body language person.
So here's the thing: what they are experts in interrogation, right?
Okay.
That's what they do, and I don't mean they're waterboarding kind of guys, right? They're the kind of people that will sit across from someone, whether a low value or high value target, and they'll talk with them and they'll ask them questions, and they're working towards building a relationship so that they get more comfortable as the target gets more comfortable with them. But in doing that, they're also experts. I call them human lie detectors. Because whenever you're speaking to a subject across the table, you start picking up on what do they call them in poker? There's a name for them in poker. They're tells.
Tells.
Right?
Tells. Yeah.
And it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference no matter how hard you try to hide your tells, they know them, they see them, and they start leveraging those. And they're very good at picking up whether what you're saying is an accurate representation. And then when they figure out it's not, when they realize it's not, they head down that track, and they make it more and more difficult for you not to tell the truth, or at least to stop lying. And stopping lying is actually a recognition that you're, in one way, the opposite is the truth, right? So that's what they're good at. So it doesn't take necessarily, it could be anything. It could be watching a video, or it could be sitting across from someone, or a lot of their work is done by watching deposition tapes. And a deposition tape is not, the people that do depositions on tape, on recording, it's not tape, of course, anymore, but recorded depositions have been coached by their attorneys to behave in a certain way and not to give any information. These guys pick up on that. They can pick up on it. Wow. They're so good at what they do. As I said, 2 of them are masters in psychology. One is a PhD in psychiatry.
Wow.
And they have, between them probably over 100 years worth of experience in this. They didn't start out that way. Nobody in the intelligence community, nobody starts out in the job that you end up in. It just kind of draws you in, and you start realizing, whoa, I like this and I'm good at it. So I think that conversation the conversation with them face to face will produce a lot of really interesting things.
Okay, well, let's hope so. We're going on 10 years.
We got to do something, don't we?
Exactly. We got to do. We're not getting any younger.
Yeah, I'm certainly not. I mean, there's a point at which, So
okay, well, thank you for your time, and keep up the good work. And hello, chat room, and have a good night, everyone.
Tony, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Bye.
So I do want to recognize Charles Chapman for his $20 super chat. Charles, thank you very much. It has become a habit for me since I have to turn them down because I could never tolerate that kind of sugar. It's more fun for me to give them the money and see the response to it, because it's always kind of cute. It always makes me feel as good as if I were to buy those cookies. So Gardner, I'm going to call you back right now because I know you tried several times. Gardner, Kansas. Okay, Gardner, I'm calling you.
Hello?
Hey, Gardner, this is Toby Younis.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Hi, Tony. Hi, I'm good. My name's Donna, and yes, I live in Gardner, Kansas. I got something to ask you a question.
Okay, that's good.
You have a treasure chest. You want to take it with you. You yourself, Tony. You take it to your special place. How is that taking it with you? You can't take it with you if you just go hide it just anywhere. So in the back of my mind, there's only one way you can actually take it with you.
Yeah.
Is when you die.
Yeah.
And in the grave.
Right.
However, it's not in a cemetery.
Right.
But is it in a cemetery? A makeshift cemetery is what I'm trying to get at. I mean, I'm trying to investigate this as where it can't be.
Right.
And it can't be just sitting out there in just any old special place. It has, in order to take it with you, it has to be somewhere you have died. You have been born, so to speak. It's maybe it's not in a graveyard. It can't be in a graveyard.
No.
But what do you think?
So there are a couple of things. You have to remember that his original plan was to die next to the treasure.
Right.
That was his original plan.
Do you think that's metaphorically speaking?
No. I'm very confident that his original plan was to take that treasure, put it in a special place, lay down, and allow himself the luxury of dying in his own way. Right? Now, the problem with that, as he says at Moby Dickens, is he got well. Right? Okay. So he got well. That means he wasn't going to die. Now he's stuck with this idea and this treasure. He's got 3 things. He's got a special place. He's got a treasure that he's accumulated, and he's got this great idea about
Right.
making his name last forever, or as long as the treasure remains unfound. All right?
Exactly. But there is a problem
No, no.
I
Well,
have with that.
let me finish. Right. So there's this. There's a place. There's a treasure. There's an idea, and the idea is to hide it. And the idea is actually all encompassing. Hide it. Get people out. And as long as this treasure remains unfound, the name of Forrest Fenn lives on in infamy, as
I agree with
Franklin
that.
Roosevelt.
But what I don't agree with is the fact that, and I do watch the show all the time. I
Yeah.
don't have nothing to say, so I just listen. The problem I have is I don't think he's being honest with us about laying his body over where the treasure chest is, because he was so very worried about those people he didn't even know that were buried. The French soldier, so to speak,
Yeah.
was buried in, and their family didn't know where they were. I mean, how horrible it was that the family didn't know where they were. So why in the world would he do the same thing to his own family?
Well, so
I mean,
here's kind of the strange thing about all of that. He didn't, right? So you can't make the hypothetical real. The hypothetical was he was going to die next to the treasure because he was dying anyway. That didn't happen. So he had to make a new plan. Right? So
Right.
you can't say, well, why would he didn't do that. The fact is it would be like saying I wanted to go to college to become an attorney and I never did that. I didn't go to college to become an attorney. I went to college to be something else. So I can't base my decisions on the idea that I was going to become an attorney. I have to lead my life based on what I got my degree with, et cetera, et cetera. So the same thing. It never happened. So you can't make any of your search decision based on what is effectively a hypothetical. It's
So what
hypothetical.
he was going to do was, when he was sick with cancer, if he got to the point where his dad was at, he was going to go take a bunch of pills and go put his body where this place was, within the back of the mind, within the back of his mind, clear back into the Vietnam War. He was upset about the French soldiers. Do you think that was his mind of not thinking at all
No.
at that time because of cancer?
No, I think he left the first, let's see, it would have been about 40 years of his life behind him when he left Vietnam.
Okay.
He walked away from that part of his life. He started a new life at the age of 40.
Okay.
And he started another new life after he recovered from cancer. Probably
The levels of different lives that you were saying. He
Yeah.
died
Yeah.
at this point, and
Yeah.
then he came, and then he died again at this point.
right.
I see what you're saying.
And so he has this tendency, and we all do this to some extent. He more than anyone, because he had a life-threatening situation in Vietnam. He survived it. You know what happens when that happens? You change your life. Your life turns around. You become a different person as a result. He had another life-threatening situation in 1988. If you survive it, you change your life. You become a different person.
So everything that is dear to you becomes even more dear, right?
Well, no. It could be so. The Forrest Fenn that was in Vietnam, to me, was very self-centered. It was about Forrest Fenn. I'm a pilot. I know pilots. I know jet fighter pilots. They're very self-centered. And if you read the book, it's all about Forrest Fenn. There isn't a lot of other distractions in his life. It all centers on him. Now, they're his father and his brother and his sisters and his mother, but it all centers on him. When he came back from Vietnam, he was the person that more than anything else realized that his life should be the center of the life of all the people around him. When I used to work in projects, I would always tell my team that my job is to make you guys look good. And by doing so, I'd end up looking good. That's what he came back from Vietnam with. He looked at his family, his friends, and he said, my job is to make sure they're happy, irrespective of whether I'm worried about being happy or not. My job is to make sure they're happy. That's the man that left Vietnam. The man that arrived in Vietnam was not that man.
It changed him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it will. I mean, you know, the war changes anybody who experiences war. It changes you. I can assure you. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But he went beyond that because he had those two crashes just before he left. I mean, he in Vietnam, he was what we call short. That you make short jokes. I'm so short, I need a parachute to get out of bed in the morning. And you start, you try not to count the days because it's kind of a jinx. He was short. He could see that flight going home. He dreamed about that flight going home. And then boom, two crashes in a row, one of which he parachutes through the jungle and has to make a decision about whether to allow himself to be hunted down like a dog at night. That will change you. And it did. And the fact that he stumbled over that French soldier's tombstone probably was the point at which he says to himself, no, there's something, this French soldier is laying here unknown, unfound perhaps, undocumented, didn't make it home, and all he wants you to do is smile at a homely girl. He wants you to do something other than recognize the fact that he's buried there. That changed him, and it made him a different Forrest Fenn. And it was that way from 1968, almost 20 years of that Forrest Fenn building a business, not for himself, but for his family.
All right, I got something else to say.
Go ahead.
On that interview, I don't remember which one it was, but you'll recall what I'm talking about. When you die, when Chris had mentioned it to Forrest Fenn, when you are no longer with us, I'm paraphrasing this, of course. Is there a way to know? And how are we going to know? And he says there is a way to know. I just don't want to elaborate on that or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. If you write down those words and ignore the way he said that, and put the commas in the right place, I wrote you about this.
Yes, you did.
There is a way, comma, to know, as in TWO, no. I take it that when he started this, that nobody else knew, possibly. But when he says there is a way to know, if he said it like this, there is a way to know, then we would know that to know. But the way he says it, and the way it is, and I honestly think that putting commas in the right place can change a story altogether. You know that as well as I know.
I agree with that.
But I think two other people know about it. Maybe not in the beginning, but as things get, he has to put somebody else in charge to protect his family. I mean, good grief. One of his granddaughters was already almost snatched or almost snatched, kidnapped. But what I think he should fear is what happens when he dies and he's not there to protect his family anymore. So don't you think, in my opinion, it's all my opinion, of course, don't you think that he has to have somebody else know?
In my opinion?
In your opinion?
No.
To protect his family?
No, I think if one were to conclude that other members of his family know where the treasure is hidden, you have an even harder time of protecting his family. The best thing he can do is continue to say, no one in my family knows anything.
Well, I don't think he is going to let us know that.
No,
It's
he's effectively said that, right? He's always said there is two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. I'm the only one who um, knows where that treasure is. If
on
he
that.
were to imply, if he were to do anything to imply that he left the secret with a member of his family, he puts his family in greater danger than if he were to say they don't know where it is. That's the most likely. That's the scenario. Continuing to repeat that I'm the only one that knows where that treasure is what will keep his family safe. Now the reality is there are going to be people in this world who don't believe it either way and who might put his family at risk. But if he were to say something like, "I'm not the only one that knows where it is," he's by saying that he's actually put his family at risk.
I see how you're. I see. I get it. It's just I'm just putting things out there.
Well, the
Just
best thing to
wondering.
do, of course, is to go find it before he passes away so you can tell him.
Yeah. Well, if you are brave and in the wood, maybe just a little bit more than I can bear.
Yeah.
Because I'm 56 years old,
Hmm.
and I mean, and to be honest with you, Forrest Fenn, well, I have a boss that's 78 years old who can run circles around me.
Uh-huh.
You know, I have neuropathy in my right leg and foot, and so that's the point. If you are brave and in the wood, I'm not so brave. You
Well,
know.
here's hang on, let me just address this. Colorado Springs, I'm still on the phone, but I'll call you next. How's that? So here's what I do. I'm 71. I'm not in perfect shape, but I'm in pretty good shape. And what keeps me in pretty good shape is the idea that every summer I've got to go up into the mountains to look for that treasure. It's actually the motivating factor, right? I want to
Oh,
stay in
don't
shape.
get me wrong. I've been boots on the ground with my family 9
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
and I've gotten hurt. In this last time, I got hurt. I thought that my son was going to have to call a helicopter
hmm,
because my husband wanted to stay back.
yeah.
We weren't even in a dangerous area, Toby. We weren't even in a dangerous area at that time, and I
Mm.
got hurt. And my husband almost broke his arm, and we were not even in a dangerous area at all. It's just, when you start walking, it feels like you've walked miles. You know that,
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Oh no, up
I
in the
mean,
mountains, it's
we had,
the combination of the altitude and the fact that you're climbing. Basically, you may not feel that you're
I,
climbing, but yeah,
I, for other people that are searching, I do have one thing I want to suggest to anybody who's never been in the mountains. Um, Make sure that it is worth the extra money to buy the canned oxygen,
yeah,
because your breathing and your heart rate doesn't match up, and it can cause panic attacks.
yeah, yeah.
So I just suggest they bring, or, in your
One of the
bear
cans of
spray, of
oxygen.
course.
Yeah. So there's
Yes.
a number of things that you can do to protect yourself. One is to make sure you're hydrated at all times. The other thing too is to acclimate yourself. Stop in Albuquerque, spend a couple of days. Stop in Santa Fe, spend a couple of days. Stop in Taos, spend a couple of days. As you get progressively, and I know that's extra time and money and hotel stays, but it's better than finding yourself in a difficult situation. The other thing I strongly recommend is it's expensive. I don't know. It's $25 to $35 a month. It's the InReach communication system that comes with most Garmin, I think it is, GPS systems now.
I used to work at Garmin.
Oh, you did? Yeah. So
Yeah.
they acquired InReach, and you can do that. And the nice thing about InReach is that it's satellite based communications, so you can text message people back and forth. In addition to that, InReach has a policy that you can buy. It's $20 a month, and if you're only doing the summer months, right? So it's $55 a month for 3 months, right? if you're
Right.
searching during the summer months. And what that does is it gets you helicopter insurance, basically. So
Oh,
you can reach,
I think I should get that.
yeah, it's the it,
Kansas even has that.
because anybody who thinks that you can call and have a helicopter come for you, and it's not going to cost you anything, they will charge you. You get charged for it. That's right.
Even insurance won't pay, because
Right.
I have a nephew that was life flighted from Manhattan
Yeah.
to Children's Mercy Hospital, and they had excellent insurance, but
Yeah.
they didn't pay it, and it was $20,000.
Exactly. Yeah. So getting the InReach $20 a month flight insurance is really inexpensive, and if that should happen to you, and they need to airlift you out of there, because the insurance pays for the entire flight. So. So that's
Right.
one way to make sure. But again, a little bit of make sure you're getting your water, make sure you acclimate on your way up there. If you fly into Albuquerque and drive up to the Rio de los Pinos the next day, you're going to get sick and you're going to feel terrible, and your brain will be pounding from the blood pressure. So,
Well, do you think he put it under a rock?
no, I think he put it in a niche or a overhang or not a cave, but maybe a small hole in the wall, something like that. I don't think he covered it with a rock because, again, as I've said in the past, once you do that, you've increased the problem by a fourth dimension, and that just makes it impossible to find. So, not that it's going to be easy to find. He said you're not going to stumble over this treasure, and what I believe he means by that is it's in a place, it's in a location that would prevent you, literally, from stumbling over it. That means it's a nook, a cranny, a crevice, something like that.
Okay, well, I know I'm out of time, but one
No,
other
you
thing,
don't.
the reason why
If I wanted to do time, you were out of time 10 minutes ago. But let's keep going here.
Okay. The reason I think it's under a rock,
Yeah.
a large rock,
Mhm.
is because of what he said. I'm paraphrasing this, of course,
Yeah.
but the word he did use was, "It is not necessary to remove any large rocks." Well, when he phrased it like that, told me it is under a large rock, because he said it's not necessary to remove large rocks, meaning you can get it some other way, instead of saying it's not under a large rock. I'm pretty good about investigating.
You're going to have to
things.
explain the nuance of that, of what you just said.
Okay.
I'm missing the nuance.
It's not necessary. Okay. If I want to tell somebody that something is not under a rock, a large rock, I will say it's not under a large rock.
Yeah.
But if I want to detour somebody and make them think that it's not under a large rock, but it is under a large rock, I would say it is not necessary to remove any large rocks, which means I have another way to get. There is another way. It's not impossible, but it can be done.
So is your opinion that you're going to have to roll back a large rock in order to find it?
You're going to have this is where, if you're braving in the wood, this is the thing. There in some of the pictures, he has a picture of his brother, keeping him. His brother's got his hand on the car, and he said, "My brother is keeping me from going any further," in that car that they have, and that there's grapes around it, so to speak. Well, in the book, it said Skippy holding a rock. Now, that phrase he uses, a holding, is a bank. So obviously, Skippy is not holding a rock. He's touching a rock. But when he uses the word holding, that word holding means a bank. It's banked under a rock, possibly. Because it's when he's saying holding me back, and he's got his hand on the car, just like he has his hand on that humongous rock. There's no it's not necessary to remove large rocks. but but it's under a large rock. This is my opinion, because he mentions the word holding, and a holding is a vault. It doesn't have to be in a bank. A holding is where you keep your money safe. A holding is a safe. A stone. He talks about stones. He talks about the Rosetta Stone. If you reread the book, and I can almost read it to you word for word, just like Al Simpson did, because I've investigated it so much, but there is so much here in the book that shows that it's in a vault. He said he didn't bury it, but he said, I didn't say I buried it, but I didn't say I didn't. Of course he buried that. He buried it the same way you and I would bury a loved one. See, we don't actually bury a loved one. We don't dig the hole and throw them in there. But I believe he buried. I believe it's hidden, but I believe, all in all, that begin at where warm waters halt is also where the blaze is. And the reason why that is because the word found and the word begin both mean Genesis. Found it where warm waters halt. If you've been wise and found the blaze. They're both, I think the first clue is the last clue. And I think they come up in the middle. But the thing about it is I believe he buried it.
Okay. I'm not going to argue you
Oh,
out
I'm
of
not.
that. But
I was just giving you my idea.
Yeah. So the only recommendation I can make to you based on what you've said thus far is that the further you get away from the poem, even if it's in the book, the further you get away from the poem, the further you get away from the treasure. That's the only.
I agree. And that's why I was going to say, with the found and the begin, I think your Shelley was not off at all when she said that was a sexual thing going on in there. And then it's also a burial. It's a funeral. It's a funeral procession.
Let's give somebody else a chance. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure. It was a great conversation. You have a good evening.
You betcha. Thank you. You gave me a lot of input. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. So Colorado Springs, you're up. Let's see what you got. And then Waco Joe, I saw you. We'll call you next. Actually, depending on this, we may do, I think what I'm going to do is play one more of Angelin's songs. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go refresh my drink. Hey, it's Toby. I'm returning your call. What's your name and where are you calling from and what's your question?
Yeah, hey, my name is Ken. I'm calling from Oklahoma, even though I got a Colorado Springs phone there.
Roger that. What's up, Ken?
Yeah, I'm pretty new to the search, and I just caught you last a little bit, but I didn't call in, so I thought I'd call in tonight. I got a question kind of relating to some things that lady was just talking about. This has kind of bothered me since Finn originally was talking about that he was going to go to the spot and die and throw himself on the chest, right? So maybe you guys have hashed this out over the years, but what was his plan for the car?
We don't know.
Yeah.
It never got that far because it turned hypothetical the minute he got well, right? Yeah, so I think he was willing. I think he was willing to suffer the consequences of walking the treasure to his death spot, which included leaving a paper trail and the anguish it would cause to his family. But as he says at Moby Dickens, I got well. So after that, it all became hypothetical. It doesn't make any difference. It's not going to help you.
Yeah.
That hypothetical is not going to help you find the treasure.
No, well, the only reason I thought about it was I think because it's hard for me to figure out how you could not bring in another person, because an abandoned car is going to lead to search of some kind. So
Yeah.
what I was kind of pondering was, what would alleviate that is if he drove that onto his own private property somewhere in New Mexico.
So again, it's hypothetical. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
it is totally. But I think that's
it's
a big hurdle to overcome. With
it's
all,
not a
any
big hurdle.
location that is straight off a public road. You know?
Yeah, it's not a big hurdle to overcome when you realize it's hypothetical. You don't have to overcome
Yeah.
that hurdle. He doesn't have to overcome that hurdle. There
Okay.
doesn't have to be
Yeah.
private property. There doesn't have to be anything else because it's hypothetical.
Yeah,
And
well,
the
that's true.
sooner, again, it was like the conversation I was having the lady that preceded me. The sooner you forget that hypothetical, the sooner you stop worrying about whether or not the hypothetical was even possible, then you can focus on the poem.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. So let me ask you this. I just heard recently, I was watching, I think it was a Fenn video, that Cynthia is giving up on New Mexico.
Cynthia
Would
gave up
you-
on New Mexico a couple of seasons ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think I watched an old Fenn video.
Yeah, she had given up on New Mexico.
What's your thoughts on that? Because I still have to mostly agree that it's more probable, especially since his original idea was to go out there and die on top of the chest. It's
Yeah.
a long way to go.
Yeah.
Unless he meant, months before he thought
Right.
he was going to die, he was going to commit suicide.
Yeah. We have our own reasons for believing it's in New Mexico, and they're, to us, the logical reasons. It was
Right.
and I can go through them. I won't waste my time because the folks have heard them often enough. But that shouldn't prevent. So what I can tell you is I'm not going to look at any other state. We're
Right.
comfortable with New Mexico, but that should not prevent anyone, including Cynthia or anyone else, from looking in all those other states. It could just as easily be there. And there's ways that you can, there's calculations that you could make that would put him in Montana or Wyoming or even Colorado.
Yeah. Let me ask you a little something about Homer Brown, because
Sure.
I've seen some of your shows, some of your videos with Shelley, when you kind of explain your rationale between Homer Brown. It seems like you're pretty set on it being a geologic feature.
Geologic in the sense that it has a geologic feature has the most longevity, right? It's the easiest.
Yeah.
It has the longest life. It requires an earthquake or a landslide or something like that to take it down. But something geologic is going to last much longer than something man-made or something that nature
Right.
made in the way of anything organic. So geologic, being inorganic, is going to outlast anything that's organic. Simply because organic starts. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this follow-up question about that. So, I'm pretty sure that I've heard him in a video interview, say that no specialized knowledge is needed. Now, to me, if you rule out local history, knowledge about minerals and stuff, I've heard you mention about the minerals that make up the color brown and stuff.
Yeah, lignite.
Like outside of that, all it could be would be like a rock that looks like a house. If you need no specialized knowledge about history or animals or anything,
So I'm always hesitant to agree with that no specialized knowledge thing, because the guy that said you don't need specialized knowledge is the guy that wrote 13 books on 7 different topics, was an amateur archaeologist, an amateur paleontologist, and flew a fighter aircraft for 20 years. Now, if there's anything more specialized in terms of knowledge than flying a fighter aircraft, I don't know what it is. So I'm always hesitant to agree with the hypothesis that you don't require specialized knowledge. If you didn't, if you could do it with imagination alone, then it would have been done already. I think you have to know certain things. I don't think it's necessary for you to become an expert in, geology, archaeology, or paleontology. But I don't think you can go out into Mother Nature without having some specialized knowledge about Mother Nature, right? You have to at least know how to fight off a bear if a bear decides to attack you. You have to know how much water you need at altitude. You have to know the effects of altitude above 7,000 feet on somebody who's coming from Florida. So anything you do in terms of finding this treasure is going to require some specialized knowledge, or at least the acquisition of that specialized knowledge. I think my opinion of what he meant is it shouldn't be the kind of specialized knowledge that requires you to become an expert in geology, for example. It's the specialized knowledge that puts you out in nature. And we know that every year, I think the number is like 11,000 people die out in nature.
Right. Yeah.
And they die for a variety of reasons, from drowning to falling off cliffs. What you have to assume is they didn't have that particular bit of knowledge that prevented that from happening.
Right. Now let me ask you this, because I saw you answer a question about your theory about the New Mexico fishing regulations.
Yeah.
And you said, well, it'll still be in the historical record. So I kind of agree that that's probably got to be in Fenn's mind, that, as right now we can learn about history 1,000 years ago, that you will be able in 1,000 years to still find history if you go looking for it.
That's correct. I mean, if you look at any, so treasures, and I'll call them historic or ancient treasures, are always found in one of two ways. They are found accidentally, they are stumbled over, and they are found by committed researchers who go back to the period at which the treasure was lost, however it is lost, and they research that period from that time forward. But you've got to start there. So it is very likely that in 1,000 years, considering how nature is going now, that the likelihood that there are New Mexico fishing regulations is probably a pretty good assumption. But the simple fact of the matter is the internet assures that we can go back to 2010 and look at the 2009, 2010 New Mexico Game and Fish fishing regulations. So, but that's how treasures are found. Treasures are not found, 200, 300, 400-year-old treasures are not found by us researching the data of that time, whatever that time was. It's researching the data and information of the period in which the treasure was lost.
Right. I agree with that. I got another thing you could probably help me on, because you've actually spoken to Ben many times. So, the center part of the book, the war chapter, the deal with the French soldier, it bothers me that that quote is pretty much the same quote from a Baltimore philosopher from about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've seen it brought up before, but I did not hear a good reply from Fenn. Doesn't give him credit for it. And it's not quite word for word the same, but it's obviously the same sentiment.
Yeah.
Yet he puts it forth like he believes it was an original thought from somebody in the field there. Okay, and the other thing is, I find it strange that it wouldn't be in English.
Right.
If it's a French soldier on a French battlefield.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that?
You'd imagine it would be French, don't you?
Right. Exactly.
So there are two things. After you've researched the book as many times as we have, you're going to discover there are dozens of misquotes, unattributed quotes, and what look like, for all intents and purposes, stolen quotes in that book.
Right.
So that the fact that he used a poet's line from years ago is not unusual in the context of that book. I mean, we have a researcher in our member vault, and every time we do another chapter, she'll go back and she'll say, here's the misattributed or the quotes that he took, made him his own, and they really go back to this. There are dozens of them in the book.
Okay. And has anybody ever, to your knowledge, face-to-face asked them about that?
I don't know that anyone has ever had. So there was a time, and I'm trying to remember when it was. It may have been, I don't think it was Moby Dickens, but somebody challenged him on one of the quotes in the book, and he said, "Yeah, I borrowed it from him," and that's how he approaches it. I borrowed it from
Okay.
him,
Yeah.
and he's
The,
okay with
the-
okay with that. You got to remember that this book was originally intended to be published for 1,000 people. So he probably
Yeah.
felt comfortable that he could borrow these things and put them into the book, and the 1,000 of his friends that were supposed to buy the book would never make a big deal out of it because they'd heard him say those things before. So over the years, there's a quote that I use, and I started using it when I was coaching girls soccer, and the quote is, "Winning builds confidence, losing builds character." And that's not an original quote, but for the life of me, I can't tell you where I got it from.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Hey, I was kind of wondering generally too. Like I said, I just stumbled on those videos of Finn Treasure.
Yeah.
But is there any other that you know of? Because I'm not a big computer guy. Is there any face-to-face gatherings that ever take place where you can get in a group and discuss stuff?
There are. I know that Christy and Mike have had meetups in North Carolina, Las Vegas, Detroit, but they tend to be more social. People never stop talking about the treasure, but there's a point at which we're social. And the other thing too is most searchers are pretty embedded in their theories.
Yeah.
So it almost doesn't do any good to talk about it. I mean, you listened to the lady before you called. She's pretty embedded in her theories. There's nothing I can say to convince her otherwise. But I've also discovered that there's nothing people like more. We have a business product that you can call me and talk for an hour for $50. And what we found out for the number of calls that we've been through is most people are doing that. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say most people. Almost everyone who has made that call manages to mention they've run out of people to talk to.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that boils down to you've literally talked the ear off talked the Forrest Fenn Treasure ear off of everybody who you know and love, and you're at the point where you don't want to start destroying relationships for that.
Sure.
So, and I think at these meetups, there's going to be one. Somebody just said, "Well, there's one in Cody. They had one in West Yellowstone last summer," and I think they talk Fenn Treasure. But one of the things that you're going to find out about talking about Fenn Treasure is everybody is pretty. You're not going to change anybody's mind about anything. They have their minds made up.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Hey, so the Fenn Treasures, are they open to anybody or like invitation only?
Just follow. Okay. So we have a. Let me see if I can bring it up here. It's on our Google page with information on it. You can go to. I'll post it here. Let me see. That's Gypsy's Kiss, Fenn Treasure 2020. And there is a page. And you just want to contact Jamie Jordan. So you just go to this location here. I'm going to put this in the chat room. So you can take a look at that. Just go to there. And that's everything that you need to know about Fenn Treasure up to this point. It's open to anybody who has an interest. I mean,
so I got one thing I kind of stumbled on in the Yellowstone area.
Yeah.
If I wanted to bounce it off of you, how could I do that? Like, without doing it right now.
So let me put that link for you. So you go to the link that I just talked about a few minutes ago, right?
Okay.
Hang on. Right. Let me give you that link. I have to do note dashboard, and I'm going to put that in the chat room as well.
All right.
And it's an hour of your time, however you want to use it. All right.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hang on. Let's see. Shelley puts it in here. Member vault. All right. What the heck is that? Right there. All right. I just put that as a comment in the room.
All right,
All
sounds
right.
good.
Just follow.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to maybe once we get the date set for a Fender read, come out maybe a week early and try a couple spots in New Mexico.
In New Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Nah,
good
I'd like to
timing.
meet Forrest if
The weather's there.
enough to get to the
Sometimes,
thing this year.
yeah, he's less and less likely to meet up with people.
Yeah.
It helps if you know somebody that's really pretty.
Yeah, I've gathered that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Send a picture of yourself and your beautiful girlfriend.
Well, don't tell my wife. But.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But you, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, I guess that's enough time for me. I don't want to, double dip like the Kansas caller.
Yeah, no. You're getting close to her call now. So you guys are in competition. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I better shut up. Say goodbye now.
You have
All
a good
right.
evening.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Okay, I am going to turn the phones off for just a second. And Waco, we'll call you in just a minute. Okay, so K-Pro, I'm sorry. We already give it away. You were out of the room, but no worries. No, I'm just teasing. So let's give away the pendant. Okay. And you should have placed your name in, let's see. Placed your name in, where the heck is that dang video? No, I lost the video. Hold on. Go to World Sand Project. And we're going to go down to WSP 0011. Okay, let's do a screenshot here. All right, so you should by now have made a comment on this video right here, World Sand Project Sample 001, the green sand of Papacolia Beach in Hawaii. That's the pennant that we're giving away. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to copy the URL, copy the link address, and we're going to go to commentpicker.com. And we're going to select the YouTube tools. All right. So if you don't have it now, it's too late. Let's see what we got here. Let's see how many YouTube comments we got. 32. Wow, that's not bad. Usually we get, I don't know, under 20 on the World Sand Project. All right, here we go. Let's pick up a name here. Mark Connor. How the heck did Mark Connor get there? Mark Connor's, this is interesting. So Mark Connor isn't chatting now. Okay, Mark, you did win fair and square. So I hope you enjoy the pendant. Give it to someone who you think might enjoy it. In order to take advantage of that, Mark, send me an email, a gypsy's kiss at gmail.com, and send me your shipping address, okay? All right, Mark, look at you. Yeah, that happens every once in a while, but yeah, he's banned. K-Bro, he is banned, but he's not banned from winning, right? He went and made a comment. He wins fair and square, and I'm not going to, because he's banned, I'm not going to cheat him out of that. Maybe that's a good way for a couple of others to come in and see if they can win. So, Mark, you win the pendant. Papacolia Beach, and just send an email to a gypsyskiss@gmail.com with your shipping address, and everything goes out on Monday. So, all right. So let's go back to, I want to play one more of, before I open up the phone lines again, I'm going to play one more of, you know what? This is her longest song. It's a 5-minute song, but it'll give me the opportunity to go, I'm going to stay around just a little bit longer. So I've got to go make a potty stop, and I've got to refresh my drink as well. So let's play another one of Angeline's songs here.
deep within. Miles away, you're striving, building a life for a soul that's free. I know it's hard, but I wish you knew what it means to me. When you're trying to face the changes, still hold on to you. Maybe someday you'll hold my hand, 'cause I'm a girl of the broken cages too. You do your best to carry the weight of the world with a life that's real. In a day of double faces, you made a difference. I can feel restless spirit. I love you. The fire in you is ablaze in me. You took the chance, exposed yourself, and broke the cage where I would be. When you're trying to face the changes, still hold on to you. Maybe someday you'll hold my hand, 'cause I'm a girl of the broken cages too.
Man, I really like her music. It's got a lot of emotion in it. You know, some people have a hard time listening to. Oops, yeah, keeps playing it. Just keeps going to the next song. Listening to that music. That you know, every musician has a time where they're writing a song because they're experiencing some kind of emotional pain, right? And it could be emotional, it could be spiritual, it could be physical, because Lord knows many of those songs. There's a lot of songs that were written under those conditions. But it's great to hear that, because it's a way of them working on resolving the issue, and it always turns into something amazing. I got to tell you, I love Angelin's music. I like it a lot. Played it a lot on the way back from Las Vegas. What the? So I leave for a couple of minutes. You guys are talking about pickup lines. What the hell? I don't have pickup lines. I don't have a pickup line. I love women. I love being in the presence of women. I love them. I admire them. I adore them. And sometimes that's all it takes is let them know you adore them. You don't have to have a pickup line. All right, let's see. Let's open up the phone line. So we got a giveaway. Mark on it. The reason I was thinking about it, Holly, the reason is Mark is not banned on the World Sand Project, and he was in there the other day for one of our shows. I remember seeing him there. So, Gypsy's Kiss T Brown says $20. Bet I know where the chest is. Oh, T Brown. To heck with $20. I will bet you $10K. I will bet you $10,000. I've got a blank check around here someplace that I already wrote. I will bet you $10,000 you don't know where it is. Lavender Blonde, I am not. I'm telling you. They come flocking. You guys are nuts. I've just always loved women. I think women are the best thing on earth. And I've always loved them, and I adore them, and I just love being around them. And I love, I don't want to say taking care of them. I just want to make sure they're happy. And that's all sometimes it takes, is just to make sure they're happy and they're comfortable and they're getting what they want, you know. So, hi, Sarah Rocks. Hey, Sarah, I will call you guys tomorrow because we came up with a plan for next weekend. So I think we're going to have a little, it's Kevin's birthday next weekend. So I think we're going to have a little get-together at my house. What do you think? K-Pro confirmed what? What did K-Pro confirm? What did what? Hang on. Now I got to go back and see what was said. I don't. I'm going to live in your poker room, lady. No, Rachel was really cute. She was very patient with me. The lady that was the floor manager in our poker room, she was just really cute. Flirt, huh? I don't think of myself as a flirt. I can tell you that I love women. I love being around women, and I love making sure that they have everything they need. I tell secrets. Things great. K-Pro, how can I trust you with anything? Sorry, Toby, I tell your secrets. I'm going to let it out right now. I tell secrets. So that's cute. K-Pro, you're cute. Ron Burgundy tonight. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, Violet. It's the Ron Burgundy approach. All right, phone lines are open, but let me call Waco back because he was trying to reach me.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has
his voicemail box. Oh no, you know what he has? You have to hang on. Let me do that again, because he has some weird thing where you have to hang on.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye.
Waco, you're going to have to call me, brother. So we do have a couple of text messages, so let's see what the text messages say. No call needed tonight, Toby. Thank you. This is Waco Joe. Okay, so he doesn't need to call back there. All right, so phone lines are open. So if you feel like calling and talking, we can do that. Angeline, if you're still in the room, I want to say how thankful I am that you let me play your music tonight. I think it's beautiful, and I'm going to reserve that for other nights when I'm playing music, and I will play it as often. Sarah, and I'm sure that your husband Brad does that, but Rio Grande Joe. I'm sure that your husband does that, Sarah, and I think it's kind of the best way to get on in life. And it comes from having 4 daughters. You know, they're just the best thing in the world. Hey, Rio Grande. So you don't even have to compete with Waco because he's not going to. He called me, but he had to get out. He had to go to bed. I guess I don't know.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
Yeah,
He wouldn't answer. So I'm answering for him, I guess.
Yeah. What do you got?
Oh, I was just wanting to call in. I hadn't called in for a few days.
Yeah, no, I missed you the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me and you are defibrillator brothers, so sometimes mine acts
It
up
just
a little bit.
beeps up and says, "I need to call Toby."
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just listening to everybody talking about the scrapbooks,
Yeah.
if they'll help or not. Well, if you knew the right solve, they would help. But if you don't have the right solve,
Yeah.
no use to read them.
Yeah. So you think the scrapbooks will help if you know where the treasure is? Is that what
if
you're
you
saying?
know that, yeah. After
Yeah.
you know where it's at, well, you can pick up all the hints and match them up. But otherwise, you can't. It's like going to church and giving more money and think your foot's in heaven before anybody else. You know,
Yeah.
It's like all you need is the poem and the book.
Mm-hmm.
Not buy the rest of them just because you want to get closer, because you won't unless you got the right solve.
Right. Yeah.
And the right solve, I'm going to talk about it.
All right. So you have your right solve.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, because he said the place where he wanted to die over his treasure, it has to mean something to him and to everybody else. He can't just take it, somewhere where it doesn't say nothing about the man.
Right.
And lay over it.
Right.
It's got to say something about him, about his past.
Well, it's his special place, right?
Right. So you got to match up that special place to a map.
So let me ask you a question. Speaking of special, as long as we're speaking of special places, how do you think? How did it become his? Tell me the story of his special place. How did it become his special place?
Well, he's all about himself, right? He talks about him.
Yeah.
In the book, he's all about himself.
Yeah.
So where this place where he hid it, it's still about himself. And where he was going to park the car below the home of Brown, it wouldn't have mattered if they found it there or not, because it's a special place to him, and it matches the man that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it's going to take. When you have all that solved and it matches up, step by step, you can move on to it, like he said, with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everybody's looking for a special word that can help them out more than the others. Well, it's cold.
So you think cold is the word that's gonna be helpful. So
because
he's always he's said in the past that you're not going to stumble over the treasure.
Right, because it's in this place where nobody really walks in there unless you're going in there to get it.
So if that's true and the treasure is in a special place, how did he find his special place?
Well, it matches the man that he is.
No, but how did he find it? How did it become his? It
took him all them years to figure out what would match him and where he put it. So when they found his body, because they would have found his body in a week or so, because that car would be sitting there below the home of Brown Park.
Yeah.
And that place is special to him too.
So, do you think his special place became special over time, or was it stumbled over one day?
No, it's just defining the man that he is, and he's into himself.
Yeah.
And it's there. So when we go drag it out, you'll figure it out then. Yeah. But the cold, he said, your effort will be worth the cold.
Yeah.
He ain't talking about temperature cold. He's talking about a place on a map. And he said, if you're braving in the wood, well, the wood he's talking about ain't a bunch of pine trees all around, because there ain't no trees right there where he put it. It's a different kind of wood. I just can't tell you yet what it is.
No. I understand. I'm still trying to get the answer of how did he discover his special place? I want to hear how you think he discovered
it's part of his lifetime. You got to put one and one together, what he is and where he's been and what he's done. And if you found him on the ground, that area has to describe him. And if it doesn't describe him, you got the wrong solve.
All right, you're doing a really good job of avoiding my question.
Well, he was built into that poem himself. He had to.
No, see
he had to write it where it matched him.
And I know you're avoiding it because you're starting to stutter. Let me ask the question again.
Okay.
How did he find his special place? How did he find it? Not how did it end up that way. How did he find it? Describe to me the day he found the place that he calls special.
Well, when he was when he's close to death, he knew exactly where he wanted to go then. He just hadn't wrote the poem yet.
Say you just did it again. I'm going to ask again. When he was close to death, he hadn't written the poem. When did he? No, let me do it this way.
Ask me again.
Okay, all right. So he's got a treasure. He's dying.
Right.
He decides to go put it in his special place.
Special place, right.
Right.
And he said it was dear to him.
Right. How did he find that special place that is dear, that you just claimed is dear to him? How did he find that?
Well, it was already him.
Ay, Chihuahua. You just did it again. Is the special place a physical place? Is it a physical location?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. All the poem is a physical location.
So I'm assuming that he wasn't taken by angels and landed on his special place.
No.
So
he'd been there. He'd been there lots of times.
He'd been there lots of times. How did he find it?
When his father was dying, he was ready to go there and go save him, but it was too late.
So how did he find his special place? Even though maybe he had been there dozens of times. Now he says he hasn't been back since he placed the treasure, but
that's the only place that matches him.
I understand that, but there was a first time. There had to be a first time, right?
Right.
So I have a special place on the Pecos in Dalton Canyon.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if that doesn't match him, that's the wrong solve.
I'm agreeing.
If you find him,
still not answer my question. Listen to it. How did he discover his? Not it at the point that he discovered it. I'm assuming it wasn't his special place. That it became special over time. How did he find his special place? Was he taken there by angels? No. Right.
He's been.
Was he?
Did
he fly? Did he crash land an airplane there and he survived? No.
Almost.
And I don't. You know, I agree with you. He was there several times. What I want to know is the first time.
Well, like he told that lady in that interview, she said, "Can you take me to your treasure?" And he told her, "Yeah, what kind of airplane do you have?"
Yeah.
He answered it right then, but nobody caught it. He was asking her for a plane, not a car.
Right.
Yeah, that's the 200 footers that's been right by it.
Okay, we're coming up on our 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And
anyway,
I'm not going to cut you off. I'm going to give you time to think about this question the next time we talk.
Okay.
How did Forrest Fenn, the man we know and love, the man who hid a treasure in what he refers to as, quote, his special place, unquote. I want you to describe in a brief, less than 10 minutes way, the next time we talk,
Next time we talk, okay.
How did he find his special place?
Well, it was easy for him because he already knew where it was. He's been there lots of times.
No, I agree.
He just had to match the
and
phone
I'm not
to it.
talking about. I'm not talking about the day he hid the treasure. I'm not talking about the 20 times that he had gone there to check the place out. I'm talking about the first time. That's what
because of all, he found it because of all the things that he's gone through life. He put it together from his life.
Yeah, yeah. So I want you to describe the day he walked into his special place.
I think he already knew it in his mind because he's been through there lots of times. And
if he's been through there. Now, wait a minute. If he's been through there lots of times, that isn't the first time. I want to hear the first time because I'm going to tell you why I'm asking. Because he says you're not going to stumble over the treasure.
Right. Unless you know where he
put
it.
But I believe that he stumbled over his special place.
I don't think he stumbled over.
No, then you're going to have to tell me. You're going to have to tell me how he didn't.
He went out there to prepare where he's going to put it, of course. You know, dig a little hole with a shovel or whatever.
Sure, after he stumbled
after
over
he
it.
figured it out.
I just got the $2 hang up thing. All right.
Anyways,
I'm not going to let you get away. How many ever phone calls you and I have from this point forward?
Yeah.
I'm going to get an answer to that question.
He was trying to take it with him, and there's an easy way to take all of your money with you.
Yeah, that's okay. I want you to describe the first time he stumbled over his special place. All right?
Okay.
All right. Talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So I feel like I need to ask that question of everyone. How did he found it when he was the age. He stays at 13, 1943. He was there and saw something that affected him in a marvel way. So that's the story I want to hear, right? Oh, Sassy. Thank you, Sassy. That was very, I don't want to say kind because you're getting me to hang up on the guy. But that was thoughtful of you, Sassy. Thanks for doing it. But, I'd hang up on him. So yeah, I want to know, I want to hear the day that he stumbled over his, I want to hear somebody describe to me the day that he stumbled over his special place. And if it was 13, it was 13. I can't imagine that it was 13 because the likelihood of it being rediscovered, I mean, the nation is a populous nation, right? So you identify a special place at 13, you go back to it 67 years later, what are the chances that it's still your special place? Nobody else has found it. So I think this special place was discovered late in life, not early. Okay, so 9:30. I think we'll stay up for another half hour. What do you think, guys? That'll put us at a 3-hour night. I was thinking about going 5 hours, but man, that is a long time. Here's a song for you. It's called The Engagement by Silent Partner. Thanks, Sassy. I don't want you having to spend a bunch of $2 just trying to get rid of. I'll get rid of them. You just do me a favor. The next time, just say, "Do I need to spend another $2?" And I'll start working then. What's LMBO, Sarah? Oh, so Sarah, I saw Brad is in the room. So here's what I'm thinking. I may go down and meet you guys at the GPAA. It's a Gemstones, and GPAA. And it's down in, it's downtown. It's at the State Fairgrounds. What I'm thinking about doing is going, meet you guys there, hang out. I want to see if I can buy some gemstones, and buy maybe some gold or silver for the treasure chest. And then we'll come back to my place, and I'll have some barbecue catered, and we'll just have a good time here. And that way we can. Kevin likes pumpkin pie. I don't want to get him a cake. He likes pumpkin pie, so I'll get him some of that. I'll get us some adult beverages. So yeah, let's do it that way, and we can enjoy the evening at my place. I don't know where you guys are staying on. Are you staying in Albuquerque or Santa Fe? But let's plan on doing that. It was Shelley's idea. She thought because she remembered that it was Kevin's birthday as well. So I'll give you a call tomorrow. I'll give you guys a call tomorrow. We'll talk about it. So MA, I have no doubts that no one is going to tell me exact coordinates while on YouTube. I agree. I don't think it makes sense. But I would like an answer to the question, how did he find his special place? Gonna party in my place. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If anybody's in town next Saturday, you want to come over for barbecue, you're welcome. I don't have violets. I don't have a pickup line. I don't have a pickup line. Never thought about that. I don't actually have a pickup. I'm actually not very good at that whole pickup line thing. Anyway, let's see. Sassy's coming for Fenbury, and I do owe you at least a drink, and we'll probably. Okay, good. To model some of Sparkles, yeah. All right, let's keep planning on that. I'll call you guys tomorrow. We'll firm it up, and we'll have a good time. Because I was craving some barbecue. I don't know why. So this is called Lonesome Avenue. Wow, by the 126ers. Let's do that. Well, Sarah, this is going to sound like if you guys want to stay at my house, you're welcome to stay at my house as well. But you could stay at the Santa Ana Casino Hotel, or you could stay at the Sandia. They're both very nice hotels. So we were thinking about doing something at Fenbury, but that weekend is pretty full, guys. I mean, it starts on Thursday and goes all the way to Sunday, because by Sunday you're having breakfast with Forrest at that little restaurant in Tasuki. Sexy swagger, huh? Yeah, if we finish up early enough on Saturday, we could get over to the casino. We have one that's literally 5 minutes away from my house, but they don't have a poker room. The poker room's at Sandia, which is a little bit further away, but not too bad. Yeah, we could do a casino night with dancing. The club at Santa Ana isn't as good, but the one at Route 66 is amazing. They've got a great nightclub there, but that's 60 miles away. Sandia is okay. Sandia always has a live band, so we can do that. Yeah, and they play all kinds of music from rock to country too. It's You know what Kiwis Road it is off. Let me turn the phone back on. Sorry. He says, Toby, if you call me, I'll tell you where, when he found his special place. All right, let's call him. It's Dom. So let's see what Dom says about that. And I'll turn the phone on after this call. I forgot to turn it back on. Sorry, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Dom, it's Toby.
Hey, Toby.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
So
Yeah.
you're going to tell me where and when he found his special place?
Yeah, he found it with, was it Donnie? Who did you go on the horse ride with?
Donnie.
When they were looking for Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, Donnie.
Yeah. So I think as they were going along, I mean, it was right at that age.
Yeah.
Right, the formative years.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big win for him. And so I think that, they were going, they're starving, they're in the depths of despair, and they kind of come to a place where they're lost, right? He's gonna go, he sees the big mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
I think somewhere in that area is the place. Like I think in the very bad part, right? Like I don't think he necessarily went to the place. Like maybe he went by it or he noticed it, and then very very shortly after they found the way out, and then they made it back to where they started. I think later in his life, I think this is a place that happens to look interesting from the air.
Yeah.
And I think so he's got his pilot's license. He probably was like, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna retrace my steps, right? And maybe he saw that place again, and maybe it reminded him, and maybe he landed in some small little town and rented a car like you said he did, and maybe he found it, and then that just became his special place over time.
Excuse me. So they were in their teenage years at the time. He was older than 13. I feel like they were in like their 15, 16, 17.
Yes, that's when I think he first found it, or it first became like the area became significant to him, and I think it probably became more significant as he went through his life. He probably went back and visited it several times.
Yeah,
but I think it's a place that's interesting. Now, can I prove it? No. But good grief, at least I can answer the question. I mean, bless that guy's heart that was on before. Holy moly. Seth, that was the best $2 ever spent, Seth. Thank you.
So do you think he stumbled over his special place?
Yeah, I mean, don't we always, I mean, isn't that how life is? I mean,
isn't that the kind of the rules of the game?
Special to him. Yeah, I think he said it's special to him,
right,
and him alone. So something of significance had to have happened. There, right.
Yeah.
And he hints at this in the book, and he talks about several, serious, significant events in his life, and I think that would certainly be one of them. I mean, good grief. 15-year-old going off on a horse with his buddy for several days. I mean, that's quite an adventure, So that's what I think. That's what I think. And now you all have my solve. So
no. I mean,
I'm kidding.
It's fair to say that you've described the area. You haven't told us anything that we think. So if Fenn stumbled over his special place at some point in his life, is it possible that one of us could stumble over his special place in the same way?
Well, if you go rent a horse near Hebgen Lake and you take that Red Canyon and you get a couple 15-year-olds and just kind of follow them, give them some Baby Ruth candy bars.
Yeah.
And tell them to go find Lewis and Clark. I mean, maybe you could stumble across it.
Stumble across it, huh?
Yeah, I don't think we need to stumble across it because I think he's given us the answer in the poem, right? I think he's given us where warm waters halt. I think he's given us a way to confirm it in the poem.
Yeah.
And the third time's going to be the charm for me, Toby. This summer. Just you wait.
You think this summer?
Well, I thought last summer, and before last summer, I thought it was the summer before, which was my first one.
But I think I'm through the thing. Like, so I went through the cocky stage, right? And then I got humbled, and then I was over it, and I just kept coming back. And then, like I said, last month, it unlocked it unlocked something that I was missing, and so yeah, I'm not going to bet you $10,000, but you know, isn't it so funny? There's no way. Let me even ask you a question.
All right.
Let's say hypothetically, the top 10 solves. Let's say everybody sent their best solves to Forrest. Just everybody sent them, all of them. And let's say that he takes the top 10, and one of those happens to be the correct one. If he put those 10 solves in front of searchers that know their stuff, would the real solves stand out? Just on the explanation alone, would it blend in and be like any of the other top 9 solves, or would it really be an outlier?
Yes.
Would you be able to verify it independently that, oh yeah, this is it?
Yes.
And then go out and get it.
Yes, because based on my experience, I can predict for you that if it is the right theory, that it is going to be 180 degrees different from the remainder, because I have yet to see and I've probably seen and heard hundreds. I have yet to see one that I would say that's the one. And I think it's going to, because it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. Did you say that? It will stand out like a sore thumb.
No, but that's good. But why? But what evidence do you have to support that?
I don't have any, because we don't know. I mean, no, I have no more evidence than you have. 10 people are going to send him the top 10 theories. But what I do know is what I've seen. And what I've seen, there is nothing to me that I have imagined that I would say this is the one.
And so, can you give it? Have you thought about what it would be? I mean, if there's like a really good anagram, or I mean, what is it? What is it that would make you think that?
Season 7, episode 12 of Expedition Unknown. That's what it would look like.
I looked that up, by the way. I couldn't find a place to stream it. I need to.
I got it. I get it on YouTube TV. It's a Discovery Channel product. So any place that has Discovery Channel, and you can actually buy it. You can buy that one episode on Amazon for a couple of bucks. But that's what it's going to look like.
So you don't think it's just a whole bunch of common things that when they're put together correctly, it lines up. You're saying that there is an explanation that in and of itself would be readily apparent, that before you go out there, like, yep, this is it.
Yes. I believe that you can pinpoint, you can in your own mind. I don't think you can discover them until you're out there, but I believe in your own mind, as did this gentleman who found the Boston secret. He knew what he was looking for before he went, and then he found it. And there was no degrees of latitude or longitude. There was no pareidolia. There was no Mendeleev table. No, there was none of that. It was as simple and straightforward as the verse. They don't call it poem in The Secret. They call it verse. You have to decide. So there are 12 locations, 12 containers, 12 treasures in 12 different cities. There are 12 verses, and there are 12 images. And you have to put the verses together with the images with a city. And once he put the verse together, each of the clues, if you will, in the verse, he could point to a place. And the first one is amazing in its simplicity, if you know what you were looking for.
So I also agree that that it'll be self-evident. I mean, that the solution will be obvious. What's crazy though is there are so many people that are otherwise like intelligent, smart people that are so convinced that their solution is an outlier, and then they tell it to you, and and it's not. It's such a paradox. Like in my mind, I think my solution. I think it stands out. I think it's self-evident. But yet I also understand that, if I explained it to somebody, maybe they wouldn't. Even though to me it seems so special, But I don't know. I guess we'll.
I think that phrase that you used twice, that it was self-evident, I think that's going to be key. I think, and again, I keep referring to this, but you watch this guy as he discovers, and all it took was him figuring out the first clue in that stanza, that thing. He figured that out, and then he realized, because he had spent years coming up with the complex solutions, and he figured out the first one by mistake, actually. And then he realized, oh my God, I have totally been overthinking this.
Do you think where warm water salt is common or unique? And obviously, if it's common, there has to be. I don't think Forrest wants us to brute force this. So if it's a common where warm water salt, there has to be something in the poem that indicates which common warm water salt is the correct common warm water salt, or it has to be a very unique warm water salt that maybe we haven't even heard of yet, because all the warm water salt that we hear of, are even the unique ones, are just kind of, I don't know. I haven't found one that impresses me.
Yeah, I think he would. I think the effort would be compromised by at least an order of magnitude if there was lots of warm water salt. There is only one.
Well, he said that. No, he said that there's. I think the quote is thousands of.
Well, he said there are warm water salt. If you take all the possible definitions of warm water salt, running from the temperature of water to places like the Continental Divide, there are thousands of places. But here, were you listening to last night's show?
So you don't think it is any of those?
No, I don't, and that's what I was going to point out. I know. Tell Colorado.
I was on last night's show.
Are you the one that I had the conversation about the little girl in India?
No.
No. All right.
We talked about.
No, we talked about the bet. Right. So here is.
And me being from Idaho Falls. Did you talk to somebody?
Tony.
I haven't seen the whole show.
Tony Henman's from Idaho Falls.
Is he from Idaho Falls?
He lives in Idaho Falls. You're from, but you don't live there. Yeah. He lives in Idaho Falls.
Yeah, but somebody this morning or earlier in this show said something about Justin from Idaho Falls.
That was a mistake. I corrected them.
Did you talk to them?
The person that said Justin from Idaho Falls?
Yeah, did you talk to them?
No.
Were you going to call them?
No, they were.
Call you? Okay.
No, they were in the chat room. They were just in the chat room.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they said something about, are you going to talk to Justin from Idaho Falls? And actually, Christy corrected them before I got a chance to. Justin is from Texas, I think, and Tony lives in Idaho Falls.
Yeah, he lives in Texas.
Yeah.
And he's the lead searcher.
So here's
we all know.
Well, for as many times as he's been out, he deserves to be. But here's what I was talking about last night. And I go back to the little girl in India who Jenny Kyle gave the qualifying criteria. She said, it's a little girl in India. She has a map of the Rocky Mountains and your poem. Can she find the treasure? And Fenn answered, no, she can't get anywhere past the first two clues.
Right.
So
but she can find where warm water's halt because that's one of the first two clues. That's the first clue.
That's right. And so that means that warm water's halt is visible on a map, a starting point on a map
Agreed.
of the Rocky
Agreed.
Mountains.
Agreed.
That means that if it's visible on a map, that it is effectively the intersection of two lines. Now, those lines can be borders, they can be rivers, they can be. I don't think they're. I don't think they're. I can't think of the name now. The lines that indicate altitude. So the cross lines, because she can see them on a map, they have to be two lines that can cross. They're precise, right? She can see that. She can point to it and say, those two lines cross, whatever they are, at the point at which warm waters halt. And she can see that on a map of the Rocky Mountains.
I mean, I mostly agree. I don't know if it's two lines that cross, but there has to be something on the map that indicates a point, right? I mean, it could be a river that ends, you know what I mean, or the name of something on a map.
But the river that ends.
But it has to get to a point.
Right.
It has to get to a point.
Right. There literally is, as far as I'm concerned. He said once, I'm not going to give you an X on a map, right? He spoke to one of the journalists. But the reality is, if the little girl in India can first find the first two clues, and we assume the second clue is a canyon down from the point at which warm waters halt, then what she has to be able to see on that map is some sort of intersection of something. And that something doesn't necessarily have to be related to the temperature of water, because that's not going to be on a map.
No, I agree. I think if you're sticking your toe in the water, sorry, K-Pro, to feel its temperature, then you can't determine that from the map. But it's still, we're not getting to the original question which I asked, and maybe I was confusing when I asked it. Is I think if where warm waters halt was a unique solution that has to be identified from a map only, I think we would have found it. I think if it was just so cool of a solve, I think somebody would have found that already. I think that where warm waters halt is going to be one of 100 different warm waters halt. Let's say it's a river that ends, a river that has, a fire river that stops, or, something like that. If there's 100 different ones of those, I think where warm waters halt could certainly be one of those. But I don't think he wants us to go chase down all 99 and brute force it. I think there's something in the poem that indicates this common WWWH is the correct WWWH. That's what I think.
So here's what I can tell you. I reduced it to 8 points on a map.
Now, Toby, no offense, but I mean, you're talking like one of the crazies.
No. I mean,
You're saying it's one of these 8.
Using your theory, right? The theory that you just stated, that it's a point, and that there are thousands of them. I've reduced it to 8. Now they all happen to be in New Mexico, so I could be wrong, but I've reduced it to.
So you're now making the bold claim that the where warm waters halt is one of these 8 that you've narrowed down to.
No, I can only hope that it is. I mean, I have to assume that one of them is, otherwise I wouldn't be wasting my time, right?
What are the criteria that make you so confident that you've landed on these final 8?
Because they fit the definition of where warm waters halt. Warm waters halt where special trout waters begin.
But Toby, there's thousands, and
No. First of all, there are not thousands. There are several dozen at a minimum, but there's only 8 of them that fit the remainder of the criteria. That is, they are in the mountains, et cetera, et cetera. There are only 8.
And what I'm suggesting is any exterior criteria that limit the thousands of potential warm waters halt in any degree, down to 8, down to 2, down to 1. Mm-hmm. If those filters are coming from outside of the poem, then I would say that the filters are fairly useless. Now, obviously, you can filter out, elevation and the common things, but I think there's filters within the poem that are the filters that matter. I would even say there is a filter that filters out all those, just like your little sand, to bring it to your sand thing, only You know, so all those other ones fall through, and you're left with just the one where warm waters halt.
Mm-hmm.
But the filter, the net that you use is the poem, right? And I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me because I have my soul in my mind, and of course, you know, I think that I have it. But,
Right.
But I do think it's unique. I think when we look to the book to justify our solves, or the pictures of stamps, or the, you know, or the scrapbooks, or, you know, those things, I think any of those filters, you're going to find what you're looking for. I think the filter, the only filter that matters is a filter that can be identified in the poem, because again, I get back to self-evident.
Yeah.
It's all about the poem. And so if you're using a filter outside of the poem, then you do not have a unique solve. I would argue. You don't have that special something. You don't have that outlier solve.
Right.
If you're looking for evidence outside of the poem to support your position, if I were to explain myself to you, Toby, I would not leave the poem. I would say this is where it's at, and it would get me to a where warm waters halt in a specific way that allows me to get there.
Go directly there.
Well, to the area. I mean, warm waters halt. It gets you to warm waters halt.
Well, that's the one that if you sent to Forrest, or if you told me, that's the one that would turn my head. If you managed to do it without leaving the poem and got to a specific warm waters halt, then that's the one that would turn Forrest's head.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would, and there's evidence to support it, right? I mean, Forrest has said that multiple people have solved the first two clues and then they go right on by.
Right.
And if they had truly solved the first two clues, and it was a unique, powerful solve, they would not have gone right on by. They would have stuck in that area, because they would have said, hey, I know I've got warm waters halt right. I mean, it has to be this.
Yeah.
And then they would just sit there until they found it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's evidence to support that where warm waters halt is fairly common, right? And the only way that you're going to know it's correct is not to go there necessarily, but to go back to the poem, go back as he's
Wait. I want to go back to something you said.
Times.
You said where warm waters halt is fairly common. I don't think you wanted to say that.
No, I do want to say that, because that's exactly what I mean. So I mean, it's hard to come up with an example, but so let's say that the criteria.
Well, let me ask it a different way. Is the folks that found the first two clues and then walked right past the other seven? They knew where warm waters halt was, and there was a canyon down. Is there more than one of those combinations that is outside the poem?
There must be, because they left that area.
No. I'm just talking about where warm waters halt. They found warm waters halt. He told them that. They got the first two clues and then went past the other seven. So there is only one warm waters halt and canyon down identified in the poem.
There's only one correct where
Right.
warm waters halt.
I agree with that.
Let's use the example of a hot springs, which you and I both think is irrelevant. But let's say that was. Let's use my common example. So let's say that in the Yellowstone area, or whatever area you're looking for,
right.
Let's say there's 740 hot springs that have a canyon down.
Right.
Right. And so of those 740, these searchers are identifying this hot springs with the canyon down, and let's say they're showing Forrest, right?
Yeah.
And they're emailing him, or they're sending him a picture, and so Forrest knows that they solved the correct warm waters halt. But what I'm suggesting is, because there's 742 of them, there wasn't anything so special about that warm waters halt that kept them there. They moved on to one of the other 742 because there was a bunch of thermal activity hot springs,
right,
with a canyon either down or south of them. And so what I'm suggesting, going back to the beginning, is that there is nothing particularly special. If you saw a pot of 100 Where Warm Waters Halt solutions, the Warm Waters Halt would not necessarily stand out. The overall solution may stand out as you put it all together, but any one particular Warm Waters Halt, the correct Warm Waters Halt, would not necessarily stand out from the others. That is my opinion. And I believe that's supported by the fact that searchers, quote unquote, solved it, and yet they moved on. If it was a unique, aha, holy cow, we found it, then they would have stayed in that area until they figured out clues 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Got it.
But they didn't.
All right, sir.
So,
well, we'll keep beating it with a stick until we come up with something. Good luck. You are not searching in New Mexico. You're up north, right?
yeah, you want to do another bet?
No.
South of
No.
south of the Colorado state line.
Well, you're not in Colorado, right? You're not in Colorado?
Okay, fine, Toby. I'll give you Colorado. So we'll say,
give me Colorado and New
Wyoming,
Mexico. You take
Colorado
Wyoming and Montana.
Over on the shared Colorado-Wyoming border, and you're going to take the under. I'm going to give you Colorado.
All right, great.
All right.
How much?
All right, what are we betting?
I don't know.
$100.
It was your $100 bucks.
$100.
And it's even.
You giving me odds?
No, it's even. It's even.
In New Mexico?
Yeah, I'm confident.
All right, Steven. Virtual handshake.
Got it. But it's recorded on YouTube for life.
It's here for life.
All right, sir.
All right.
Thank you for calling. It's always fun to talk to you. You too.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, one last song from Angelin, just because I like her music. Did I play this? I think it is. So I played Save Tonight. That's the one that Christy liked. So this one is Until I See You. Why am I not getting audio here? Hang on. There we go.
Through this trail of tears for years it seems. Whisperings of heaven chase me nightly in my dreams. Another day, another battle I'll go through. I'll fight my way and chase my destiny until I see you. Oh, until I see you. People falling left and right. This life can take its toll, but I'm holding on to you. Control. Another day, another battle I'll go through. I'll fight my way and chase my destiny until I see you. Oh, until I see you. Stars are falling from the sky. People say nothing can save you, but beyond these days I know I'll see you. Desperation bring me here on my knees, but I know that my salvation is on its way to rescue me. The sun setting on this prodigal son age. My son can rest, I know, 'cause tomorrow you will turn the page. Another day, another battle I'll go through. I'll fight my way and chase my destiny until I see you. Oh, until I see you. Desperation, bring me on my knees, but I know my salvation was on his way to rescue me. Desperation,
All right, let's call Brad and Sarah and work out. Oops, I keep doing that. Keep playing her music again because it just keeps going when you're on Reverb Nation.
Hello.
Hey, Brad, it's Toby.
Hey, Toby.
How are you doing? Hi, Sarah. How are you doing?
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Said hi, hon. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in on the special place.
Yeah.
First of all, we have to understand that knowing it, we won't be able to find his special place. That if you could find the special place, you could find the treasure, but it's a guarantee that we will never find his special place by deciphering anything in the book or the poem or anything. We will find where warm waters halt, but not his special place or what makes it special to him.
Right, and he has said as much in the past.
Yeah. So I'll just share a quick story with you.
All right, go ahead.
I have a special place. It is an emotionally attached place that I have many memories of. Basically, to give a little backstory, my grandparents on my mother's side were as close to me as my own parents. They practically raised me, and I looked forward to going to see them as a child and spent many, many, many summers with them. Mm-hmm. And even into my adulthood, spent tons of time with them. But I have many memories, even outside of them, on their property. They had a small piece of land in Amarillo, Texas, and my family, every square inch of that property we had some kind of a memory on there. And that piece of property is my special place. Mm-hmm. It is an emotionally involved attachment that I have with that property.
Right.
Where every step I take on that property brings back a memory. I've been to many places on this earth that are beautiful, that I've had occurrences happen, events happen in the mountains, fishing with my dad, going on a trip here and there, different things in different places, but none of those places hold that emotional attachment as that property does. And that's my special place. And I have a feeling that Forrest's special place is an emotionally attached, conjoining thing with that place, just like it is with me.
Right.
That there's not, I've been to some places that are so beautiful that a picture never does them justice, but it doesn't hold that special emotional attachment as that piece of property does with me.
Right.
And I feel that that is his special place, is the same kind of thing. It's not something that we'll ever know, we'll ever understand, or that we'll ever go there and go, oh, I understand why it's his special place. If you were to go to my special place and look at it, you would think, why the hell is this a special place?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know. You don't have that emotional attachment that I had with it. And I think Forrest's place is a lot the same way. And so we may never know what it is. Somebody may find the chest and they'll go, what's so special about this place?
Right, exactly.
So,
I think what I'm struggling with is that I've lived, the early part of my life was spent in New Mexico with my family. I had family in Taos, so my summers were there. I had family in Abiquiu, so parts of my summers were there. I grew up in Santa Fe, and there was nothing better than growing up in Santa Fe, although it's just not a place I wanted to come back to. And then as soon as I began my military service, I started traveling all over the world, literally all over the world, into places that I never imagined I would go, some of them good, most of them good, some of them bad. And what I started thinking about is Fenn is so interested in describing the special place. I started thinking about it, and I wondered what would I call my special place? Where would I go back to die? Right, that's how special it is. And honestly, yeah. I've been a lot of interesting places. Some places I'd like to go back to, but I didn't have that kind of special place. Some place that I would say, this is where I'd want to hide my treasure, and I don't have that place, and I'm not sure whether I'm unusual or he's unusual, right? That he has the kind of place that he could say to himself, this is so special to me, I can go back, I can lay down there. It's so secluded and private and special that I could go back there, hide my treasure, lay there and die, and no one would ever find us. I'm sure that's how he felt about it. I just have a real hard time reconciling that kind of so special a place that it could mean that much to him. Now, at the same time, I wasn't an amateur paleontologist. I wasn't an amateur archaeologist. I wasn't an amateur anthropologist in the same way that he was. I have never in my life found an arrowhead, right? Mostly probably because I don't look on the ground. There are places that I like going fishing, but I like going fishing. I wouldn't want to die there. I mean, I wouldn't want to, it's not where I would have a treasure. It's really funny when you and I have started talking about hiding this treasure. I'm actually going to have to rely on you to find a place because I don't have a place to hide it. There's no place that I would say this is a special place to hide this treasure. I don't know what it is, and maybe that's part of what I don't understand about it. He has said in the past that the person that finds the treasure may not know where why it was special to him, and I'm starting to figure that out. I'm starting to realize this is so unique a place to him. Then I start wondering, so. How did it become special? Dom was coming up with the idea that he was going up the Red Canyon, and he and his friend Donnie came to a place, that they thought was interesting, and over time, it became a special place for them. But considering how much time I've spent, literally all over the world and all the major continents, I just don't have some place that I would say it's that kind of special. As a matter of fact, what I look forward to happening to me is to, this is going to sound funny, but there's a spot in the National Cemetery in Santa Fe. That's where I want to be buried. It's because it's a spot that it overlooks the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. That's about as special as it gets to me. And I have the benefit of having a military service, and I'll be buried in a military cemetery, a national cemetery. But that's about it when it comes. I mean, I tell my daughter every time we pass by there, that's the hill I want to be buried on when I go. So. Yeah,
and he was asked one time if the special place, if he described that in his autobiography, and he said that he took it out of there because it was personal and he wanted to keep it that way.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine, what happened. It had to be a relationship type of personal experience that drew him or umbilically tied him to that place.
Shelley and I did the psychoanalysis of it, and you end up in that place. There is some kind of emotional event that took place at that location that literally ties him in that umbilical way that he describes. So I guess, I've had a lot of interesting things happen to me, but there are none of them that were so interesting that I'd say, well, that's where I want to go back to,
Exactly, and he's pretty much said that too. Look at San Lazaro. That he was invested in that place. And he had great interest in that place. And
right.
He found things that have never been found in that place, and it's a special place to him. But it wasn't so special that he kept digging there. He got out of that. And if you look at his life, everything past the point when he got out of the Air Force was all about making money and taking care of his family,
right?
Including his interest in San Lazaro.
Yeah.
So those things are, their interests, they're fun. The only thing that's remained a constant in his life is the passion of collecting.
Mm-hmm.
And those other things are just ancillary. They're just little things that fill the void in his life, and then he moves on.
And that's the conclusion I've come to. The special place is special because it's the single location at which all of his interests seem to coincide. So there's a little bit of paleontology, there's a little bit of archaeology, there's a little bit of anthropology, there's a little bit of Native American studies, right? All of those are, it was someplace that he discovered where there was a little bit of each. And one of the points that he made when he was traveling, I don't remember where he was, but he mentioned that he was, why he was there. But I think I recall him talking about Algeria and the deserts, around Tripoli, where the World War II battles were fought, Rommel and the British, et cetera, and he was amazed at how the layers of history had been embedded in the sands beneath his feet. And there were all these things.
War.
Right, war upon war. And he had these locations that you could stand there. I remember that scene from Patton, where Patton they've gone back to one of the battle locations, or a location that was near a battle. He had his driver take him there, and he makes this big scene where he says, "I've been here before. I was a Roman soldier here before." And then he counted the number of battles that had been fought on that plain, and you get a sense that when it came to that special place, it was that kind of special. It was historically unique. It was all his studies, and I won't repeat them, because I can get boring with that. But there's a place where all of these things that had made up the Forrest Fenn at age 88 or before when he found it were all in that one place. And that's why I don't think it's a 13-year-old thing. And that's the conclusion we came to, because a 13-year-old doesn't make those kinds of decisions. Right. Even 13-year-old Forrest Fenn, I think that the decision that he made was based upon, this is the one place where me, the guy that's written 13 books on 7 different topics, right, and has studied all these things are in that one place that makes up the Forrest Fenn of today, not the 13-year-old, let me burn the map because that's more important than getting out of here, Forrest Fenn. I just don't see that. And I think that's the other thing about it, is you have to be older in order to appreciate the emotions that you're experiencing at that moment in time. A 13-year-old is... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's when he, at that point in his life, when he realized he had cancer and may not live
Right.
within 3 years.
Right.
That's when he looked back and looked at his life and all of the occurrences in his life. And in my opinion, that's why the memoir exists, is because of that.
Right.
He's telling you all of these things that happened in his life are a conglomerate, and that the location of his special spot is a conglomerate of all of those things.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what it is. We don't know. We know there were a lot of things that were important to him. We don't know which of those things that were important to him are actually embodied in this special place. We just have to assume there are some of them there.
And moreover, it will be near impossible to tie the two, special place and where warm waters halt, together. They're two separate things. They're in the same location, but they're two separate things. And to try to find his special place to see if that's where warm waters halt would be impossible.
I agree. So what do you think about my plan to meet up on Saturday at the GPAA and then come over to the house and have some barbecue? We'll celebrate Kevin's birthday. Let's do that.
I like it, and we'll probably be there around, I think they open at 10.
Yeah.
And we'll be there around 10. So
all right.
We'll be there milling around.
All right. I'll plan to be there because I just want to look around, see what happens. I'm looking for some stuff that we can turn into gemstone gifts on the channel. I'll plan on meeting you there, and then in the meantime, I'll make arrangements to have something catered for us when we get back to my place.
Sounds awesome.
All right, sir.
All right, Toby.
You have a good evening, and give Sarah a hug for me. Thank you guys.
Sure will. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sweetie. So I did want to mention. This is a Swarovski rose crystal. It's called a raindrop. And Shelley will be giving that away on the softer side this Wednesday. So I've got a bunch of Swarovski crystals for her as well, for her day. You know what, guys? I think I'm going to head over to the casino. I think we've talked this stuff out, don't you? I mean, how many? I think we've pretty much covered the territory. Let me see. Let me make sure I don't have any more text messages. I do. Let me see. Just want to say hello. You need to come out. That's the gentleman of the podcast. Roger Garcia, San Antonio, Texas. No, I don't think you can stumble on it due to the fact that you are surrounded by beautiful scenery. The clues set it apart from the surroundings so you can walk right through the spot. One is not passing through the reason. That's why he must guide you to it, and maybe just maybe he reveals why it is special to the treasure. So I think that's perfectly reasonable. About the special place, I think it is something he shared some soul-bearing moment with either Skippy, Dad, or Eric. I agree with you. I think it had that impact. Holly says, thanks for the fun night. Thank you for joining me tonight, Holly. I appreciate it. Thanks for moderating. Doing a good job. Sassy, thank you for moderating. ES, even Greg was, ES, thank you. And I think Greg was in here for a while. We do have a voicemail. Oh, it's only 4 seconds, so they just call long enough to interrupt. So I know it's a weird time to quit, guys, but I think that's about it for the night. We beat a couple of these death. We're at about 150 viewers, so you guys are getting tired too. And I want to go over to the casino tonight, so this is a good time to do this. All right? First of all, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm going to continue doing these. I kind of like them because we get to play music and chat, and sometimes we beat a subject to death. But you know what? Fish Grinder, I am not getting either an Uber or Lyft. I'm going to drive there. Take my chances at another drunk driving charge. I don't have any. No, I'm sorry. I don't have any drunk driving charges. I would like to thank Angeline for allowing allowing us to play her music. I think it's just beautiful. And I think she has some other stuff that we'll see if we can play as well. So I was very grateful that she enabled us to do that. I think it was really pretty. And congratulations to Mark Connor, our one of our viewers on World Sand Project, who won the present tonight. Mark, if you're seeing this, I guess what I'm going to have to do is let him know because he may not be watching tonight. But Mark, if you are watching but not commenting, send me your shipping address to gypsyskiss@gmail.com. I do all my packing on Sunday and shipping on Monday. So Sassafras says, I like these two. If I ever called in, it would only be a more laid-back setting like this. Well, great. That's kind of what we want to do. I mean, I don't want to be this whole kind of pressure. And you should probably know by now. You can trust me not to jump down your throat about whatever your theory is. I'm just not going to do that. Birdie, what I need to know is whether or not you and Dom have gotten in contact with one another, so you can make that swap, whatever it is, because I didn't see that. So you guys make sure you talk to one another over the weekend so you can get that result, because I think if that's what you want, that's what he wants, so you might as well make each other happy. Okay, so let's play the Go Out music here. And did I miss, you know what, I think I missed, hang on. I did miss a Martin. Thank you very much for the tip. I will use that, and that should I should drag 3 or 4 pots. My rule is I go with $100. When I win 100 more, I leave, and when I lose 100, I leave. Or when I lose 100, there was something bigger than that. Somebody left one, and I'm sorry, I was talking on the phone. Usually Shelley is able to catch that before we get off. So if I missed anybody for your Super Chat contributions, thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. So, and we look forward to using it at the the gentleman that gave me the $20 for was it the Girl Scouts? Was it for donating $20 to the Girl Scouts? Thank you for that. So let's do the outro music. Birdie, I gave you his email address. You send him an email with your phone number if you want him to call. That's going to be up to you, all right? You make sure you send him an email. You should have his email address. Send it to him, and if you want him to call you, send your phone number. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You have each other's emails address now. I shouldn't have to worry about that, all right?
That were laced with white lines on narrow blacktop roads, with honky tonks surrounded game in drunken episodes.
Don't you think it'd be cool if we could convince Angelin to sing this song? I think she'd do. I think it'd be beautiful. We'd have to change it a little bit, but.
And winning with your name.
Thank you, Holly. Charles Chapman, thank you for that $20 contribution.
Then one night I was peeling labels on empty bottles of beer. A sweet young girl and her guitar played tears I swore were yours. 'Cause she played memories, the kind of romance.
I got to tell you, when I was listening to that music, coming back from Las Vegas, when I had playing Angelin's music, I was thinking about this song and kind of the storyline with it.
And she played memories of songs.
Birdie, I'm going to do it right after this show, okay? So you should have gotten it. I sent it to the email address that you sent me.
She stripped me bare and read my heart like it was an open book. And tried to lie as always, though her voice is all it took.
Yeah.
You bring back Sunday morning rise and sunsets by a stream. And old grass beds we made love in, and dreamed our silly dreams.
Is my search daughter still in the room? Good night, search daughter. Be healthy.
They were wine and looked into her eyes. She turned her head and walked away. Made me.
Hey, Kiwi, I want you to know I do see your comments. Most of the time they don't require a response, but I do read them.
Than I could face. The only thing that I could do would leave that lonesome place. But she plays memories, the kind that leave romance to be dark rhapsodies, would be like rendezvous. Yeah, she plays memories.
Sassy, you learn that song. Angelin's got, she's way, way busier than to pick up one of my songs. You keep learning that song. I want to hear you, sing it as well. Sassy, I think we ought to do it together, actually.
Take me back to you. Take me back to you.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, saints and sinners. Thank you for a great Church of the Search.